After arriving in the town of Valaki and meeting some of its most interesting citizens between the Baron Vlakovich and Lady Wachter, which we will call key players, and some of its less notable yet utterly diabolical residents, such as Milisov the Gravedigger or Coffin Maker Henrik Vandervoort. The party spends their time wisely, endearing themselves to the lady by attending a late brunch at her home, in which the C word is dropped. No, not that one. Yes, the other one. Halt. Swiftly, their invitation is revoked, and they're asked to leave the house. All at once, they find themselves at the service of the local church of St. Andrew's. After a curious and also slightly drunken Imelda seeks out the priest there to try to find Aaron's missing daughter, or look for clues at least. It's not long after that they begin to suspect there's some sort of foul play occurring, when party members begin to learn that the Coffin Maker, the Gravedigger, seem to be acting in a suspicious way. After tailing them, turning to the Coffin Maker's place of business, they find that an interesting transaction is occurring. One that they don't entirely understand, yet they do suspect there's some sort of deal between the Coffin Maker and the Gravedigger that involves poisoning a certain someone that may be capable of hollowing the bones of St. Andrew's to protect the church and create a safe haven once more in the town of Valaki. For some reason, these two would want to break that bond, to stop that from happening. The party's most curious about this, and at the end of our last session, they find themselves following the Gravedigger as he heads out of town, after having promised Coffin Maker Henrik Vandervoort that he would complete the job. You guys should get summoned over here. I think pulling over a few of you slowly.
Look at that. Oh, that is big old creepy forest.
We resume on the outskirts of Valaki in the Svalich Woods. The party follows after the Gravedigger here. Now, you currently have him tailed, and he's we'll say 100 yards in front of you out in the forest. He seemingly hasn't picked up on you yet. I'll wait for those of you on Tailspire to get in here, and I think I'm missing a couple of you.
I'm in. Nodding it. An update for it. It'll be just a minute.
No worries.
There was an update for it.
Well,
Also, exciting news. I got a new laptop, and I'm going to try and get it next week, and maybe I might be able to do the Tailspire.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sweet.
Very exciting. For more reasons than just Tailspire, too, because new laptops bring all sorts of opportunities.
Oh, they do. They really do. I'm so excited. I just need to get my data transfer.
He just said data.
Oh, well, how do you say it?
Not in a non-Canadian fashion.
Depending on where you're from in America, Rachel, it could be a lot of different ways. If you're from Chicago, it's data.
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 If from the south, it's data.
Yeah.
Data. Oh my god.
Data. I must preserve my data.
Yeah, when I'm talking to
So you use
customers, I do
data.
say data, so I sound like a refined individual.
Data.
But
Okay.
I feel like data is refined as data, so
Data.
data is definitely not refined.
Yeah.
Oh
Say
man,
pop.
I can't claim to speak proper English though.
Dármelo control over
Over too many?
say mini. Yeah. we
Lo
have that,
siento,
and
lo
also-
siento.
Also,
Michael.
le otro mini de
De Melda.
Por favor.
Michael,
Imelda.
how do you say it? I feel
Comprende.
now like I might just sound weird now whenever I say data transfer.
I think you said it pretty normal, right just now. That's
I
normal.
know,
That's
I'm
normal.
thinking about it, but now I'm thinking about it. You
You
know,
get-
that's
you-
just how-
now no one should give you any advice because now you should just have to struggle with that word for every time you say it. You're like, wait a minute, how is this word actually pronounced? That's the funny thing about words is I don't think anybody can really be the aficionado on how it's pronounced. Kind of all depends on how it comes out of your mouth. We all understood what you meant. That's the important part. Oh man, my data.
He's stealing my data.
One of the things that makes English such a difficult language because there's different pronunciations for different words, and then there's how everyone says different words.
Yeah.
We don't even have someone who's British.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It seemed like more of a British pronunciation, but I'm not surprised that someone who speaks French has a similar pronunciation. I'm sure a lot of words are like that when they're speaking
There's-
English.
That's what I'm saying.
Is it
Data
not
probably
wrong?
is like the proper pronunciation for that word in
Yeah,
English.
especially with
Actually, again, it's data.
Data.
yeah. I mean, if somebody with a stronger French accent, it would be more pronounced. Yeah.
The
Yeah,
things we talk about in D&D.
I'm more used to just casting magic spells and saying ta-da, so you know that's me.
No, that's what the bard says when he casts spells.
Ta-da!
I haven't casted one
Jazz
yet,
hands.
so we'll see.
Alright. I think. No, I don't think.
Oh man, I found a feature I have not been utilizing. I feel bad.
What's that?
Well, I mentioned I transformed into the wolf because I never used my wild shape. Well, I could have been using it to create a familiar the whole time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's a temporary familiar, but it's a familiar.
So we're gonna be familiar bros. Now we'll be able to tail two enemies at once.
Yes, finally. Okay, so yes, my speaking of familiars, I assume my familiar has an eye on our quarry. Yes.
Yeah,
Sure.
I would say you guys have him like well tracked at this point. So like no need to like roll anything or try and make an effort towards continuing to trace him. I think the key is going to be continuing to not be noticed by him.
Oh yeah.
Time to stealth.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't do
no.
that too good.
I am not too good with that.
Stealth rolls?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not really either. I've only been getting away
Well-
with it because I have a bird following him.
Well,
Man,
a good
I wish one
strategy
of us
is
had
the familiar will
stuff.
tell you whether he's got like friends waiting in ambush for us or something like that. And if he does, we can prepare accordingly.
And I mean, some of you have just like incredible natural perception. So in that regard, like I think that there's enough visibility, even though it's slightly foggy out here in the woods, that you guys can see his general direction of travel pretty well. And he's been moving on a pretty straight path through these very sketchy, shady-looking woods that, if you weren't following after the Gravejigger, probably are thinking to yourself, I don't know if I would be here right now, especially wouldn't be here without my party members.
Yeah,
And
Ragnar
those-
got a 2 on his wisdom save, so he's
no.
not thinking about stealthing. He's going to sprint
Wait, no.
in the direction of the
Elvis can say
Gravedigger.
something.
Orvis suggests we should follow at a safe distance.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
perhaps we should follow him to his exact location so we know what he's up to.
Exactly.
But he getting away. Must kill with javelin.
Well, no, like, why don't you ask him questions?
Remember what we said earlier? It's harder to talk with a dead man. There's nobody to make him talk into.
And everyone, we should probably be quiet. We're a ways away, but, seems pretty confident around his surroundings.
Not run down, Ragnar must dear.
But just be careful. Just really think about being really quiet.
So Ragnar can sprint if Ragnar just quiet?
It's clear there are multiple people involved in this conspiracy. I expect him to be meeting with others.
Exactly. We'll know exactly who he's meeting. Or we won't know exactly who he's meeting, but we'll see who he's meeting.
All right. Fine. But be quick about being quiet. He's getting away.
He could just be getting the fuck out of Dodge and not actually trying to meet anyone.
Oh, why don't we follow him just for a little?
We should still be cautious just in case.
Yes.
That's no reason to throw caution to the wind now, is it?
We don't know. He might be meeting somebody. He might just be going for his target right away. Let's just wait and see.
Ooh. I did a stealth roll. I got a natural 20.
Hey. All right, I'll roll Ragnar's stealth.
Preempted stealth rolls.
Hey,
By the way,
natural
again,
Ragnar too.
we can't actually. I'm sure he's so far off and hidden behind a tree that we're not actually able to see the mini that we should be heading to. So I hope we're just doing it right now.
So far, you guys are doing very well for not being able to see.
The swamp is quite expensive.
I think your natural instincts are kicking in right now. Your D&D, desires have been itching so much that you're just heading in the right direction. There's this cool thing I can do with a light, I think, and I'm just gonna spotlight him. You should be able to see that if you zoom out. If you can't, let me know, and I can do a grid.
Aha.
Cause you should you should be able to also actually know where he is on Tailspire, being that you can see him. Not really fair to you. Sorry about that.
Alright, I got you. It's over this way.
Yeah, and for those of you that didn't see that one, I can grab the little sphere. And he continues to follow in what looks like a southeastern direction away from Valaki, deeper and deeper into the Svalich woods. He stops right about where you see him now in Tailspire, as he gets to sort of like a passage of rock. There's a large boulder, and then several other similarly sized stones some 20 or 30 feet away. And he seems to backtrack, going around this, and he heads further southeast, going around this large rock structure.
Ragnar smell man flesh.
Can we see why he turned away from there, or?
When you get about to that same spot that he stopped at, you do see that there's like a beautiful looking flower. It's definitely sticks out like a sore thumb. Although there is some, foliage and bright colored flowers that are much, much, much more dim and bland colored than this. This is something that seems to stick out. The other strange thing about it is that at the base of its massive structure, one of the largest flowers you've seen, there's several large fruits. And the fruits are spiked along the rinds, and they have interesting looking pink flowers at their tops, seeming to blossom out the top of them.
Growing up in these woods, do I know what this is?
Nature check.
Yeah. I think a nature check with your background makes a lot of sense here, and I think it'll be pretty easy for you to determine what this is.
Okay, I have a natural 1. Okay, 16. There we go.
Oh, natural one. It was -1. Oh. Well, I'm surprised you actually have a good roll, though.
Yeah,
You recognize these spiky-looking, sort of watermelon-like fruits as the agiola. And the agiola fruit comes from an interesting plant. The plant itself is carnivorous. And while, like most plants, it is alive, this one is much more lively. You warn the others quickly not to get close to it. It would be the knowledge you would probably spit out first from knowing this.
Like, guys, this thing eats sort of... Like, if you get too close, you or try to eat. So let's keep moving.
Yes.
Taurus remarks that this bog is likely filled with dangerous flora.
Or maybe just
Oh, wow.
bad flowers and plants.
It's extra horrible now.
You see a fly, some kind of a swamp fly, rather large fly, just past Kragnar's shoulder and over towards the direction of this beautiful looking flower, and it lands just on the edge of the flower. As it does, the massive carnivorous plant creature emerges out of the flower, blooming all at once into something 6-7 times its original size. Its once beautiful flower mouth is now a massive, venomous set of teeth, wide open and snapping. It devours the small fly as it tries to escape, and then quickly recedes back into its original state.
Well then,
Hey,
let us not end up like that, Horns.
continuing on.
That is not a fruit I want to try.
Good thing it's not mobile.
Yet.
All right.
So are we going to follow this guy across the whole swamp, or what?
Well,
I mean,
what
we
the
could have
fuck?
caught them alone again. We saw how well that went last time.
Ragnar vote for what?
Artemine also votes for what, and shoots a firebolt
Oh,
across his face. Not to hit him, but to give him pause.
Like a warning shot, so to speak.
Yes.
You should totally... so you're slinging to miss, and you want a near
Yes.
miss. I still want you to roll to see if you can get a near miss.
Imelda just looks at you like, what are you doing?
So now the goal is to try and miss, but get a near miss, which is almost as hard as to get a hit. If you ask me, I find as someone who's thrown a lot of stuff at stuff that when I'm trying to hit stuff is when I usually miss it by an inch. Oh, let's see it.
And Kragnar would not pick up on that. He would think that the attack is on, so he is going to rage and chuck a jab.
No.
I love it. I love it.
Please not.
So this is a follow-up to him. So firebolt and then a jab attack. I love it.
As long as I'm within 120 feet, I can do that.
Communication, people. Communication.
You're definitely within range.
21.
Okay.
Kragnar knows his range. He'd be like, I can't make that. All right, you're gonna just barely miss. It's gonna fly by his face, and you're gonna see him immediately take chase. And he's heading in the same direction he was, but now he's jumping over small brambles, running over rocks. He's heading more like we won't say like the crow flies, because he's definitely not that dexterous, but he's heading in a straight direction now. He's not taking any time to move around objects.
Really don't.
Now
Right.
we get up on his business.
Yes,
and
now we do.
fucking surround him.
Kragnar, running
Maybe
start,
next time,
rage,
wait until there's a trap to spring before springing it.
jab, chuck.
Javelin
Corvus
gets
asked
launched.
Artemine why that was necessary and shakes his head, disapproving of his breaking our
Alright, hold on
stealth.
a second.
Where's he at?
This is after Kragnar also has launched his javelin. Just saying. Artemine is not alone.
Only a 13 on the attack roll.
There's several that feel that it's time. All right, so I'm gonna say that is definitely gonna miss. And yes, it is.
I could throw another one. I get 2 attacks. Chuck another
You
jab.
got the time, and I would say like
Ragnar,
you do this like in conjunction with the firebolt getting casted. So yeah, definitely. All right, that is gonna
Can I
hit.
just start running towards
Yeah, where are you
this
standing?
person? Like, can I dash towards this person? Like, that we're following?
Absolutely. I'd say everybody could take an action here, or a so to speak a turn, or we'll say an action actually, because just these guys are just taking. Oh, John took 2 actions. Damn it! All right, you guys can take 2 actions.
No, attack. No, attack is the attack action lets me attack twice, so it's a single action, right? That you attack twice.
There we go. Then it's just a
That's
single
single.
action. Single action.
Okay.
All right, single action for everybody here.
You know what mine was.
Yep. Warning shot, followed by actual javelin that hits him, and waiting for
Die.
damage still. By the way, John.
11 damage, 11
Thank you.
piercing.
Thank you. A
Dude,
slice.
you might have accidentally killed him.
Alright. So we gotta move.
My thing is time sensitive. It's also there's talk about poison here and someone drinking it. That needs to not happen. So following him forever until he meets up with someone could end up being that the person who's supposed to drink the poison does it before we even know it.
But still could have made a trap.
He's most likely carrying
your logic is far
the
from
poison.
impeccable, but all right. You're not a rogue. I get it.
So I'm gonna move 30 feet as my action.
And I'm gonna just dash.
Yeah, that's what.
I'll also dash.
Sweet.
Someday this update will finish and I'll get in there.
Take your time, man. The stream's up for you if you need it, and I can throw the link in there for everybody. Let me do that real quick.
I'm gonna pull that up too.
Well, if you need it. All right, let's go.
I think we lost sight of the mini again.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I can help with that.
So many trees.
I really need to turn on a light in this room too. I've lost sight of everything.
Wait. We're supposed to get only one action, guys.
I guess, should we roll initiative?
So at this point, being that you attacked him, and that he's still running, I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
You guys can continue to take actions as I move him away from you. He is right here on the board for you guys. And to give you a footage of how far that is away from, we'll say, the closest character, which I think is Corvus at the moment.
So how many feet is that?
Let's see here. That is a total of, I want to say, 150 feet. So he's about 150 feet from Corvus right now at this very moment.
It's very far.
Could I try to hit him with my longbow? Or not hit him, but like try and get like his cloak or something on him to like get stuck to a tree?
Yes. This is one of these, again, marked shots, like Babe Ruth pointing to the sky.
A natural one. Damn it.
I heard the damn it, which is never a good sign. That's a natty 1. Alright,
shot.
the arrow flies foul, and you see him continue to scamper through the woods.
I curse.
Alright.
Continue running. And then I try another shot.
Gonna try to keep moving forward, I guess. Run after the guy.
Corvus is going to activate his Long Strider spell and keep pace with him. So
Ragnar,
dash.
to keep
I got
his
a
rage up,
25.
has to
The other one. Sorry.
Ragnar to keep his dash up has to chuck another jab. I mean, to keep his rage up, chucks another jab.
Hope you got a lot of those.
A single jab. Only have one more after this one, so he's gonna just chuck a single jab. Hey, that's a 27. For
What's the range
13,
of the javelin throw?
it is 120 feet.
See, he's out of range. Well, I mean, you could just move 30 feet closer and then throw.
He moved 40 feet. Yeah, 40 feet closer and through.
Oh, well, too bad I didn't cast Long Strider on you.
That is hell of a fucking throw.
That's a badass throw, isn't it?
Does 25 hit? That is a pretty badass throw.
It absolutely does. Both of those hit, and both of those are pretty badass throws, respectively, shots, if you will. Because they fly through the air, and these seem to impact him in a way, like, unlike the first one that seemed to slice him. Of course, as you ran up on him, you started to see some of the blood that he had trailed from that initial shot John had landed, or I'm sorry, Kragnar had landed. But these two stop him in his tracks. Falls to the ground, and he is stationary.
I was kind of just hoping to, snake something so that he'd be stuck somewhere, but...
He's stationary, but he's on the ground not moving?
Yeah, I think that's... Yeah, we pinned him to the ground, basically.
Okay, I'm running.
I'm hoping it's not permanent. Alright.
I mean, you hit him with 2 javelins and an arrow. He's probably fatally wounded at this point.
You ever seen Spartacus?
Yeah, right.
So, I'm gonna full-on dash to him and see if he's still alive.
Oh, bastards! You hear Milisov cry out into the sky as he lays on his back. See that there is an arrow that is piercing into his shoulder that's snapped when he's fallen to his back, and the other javelin is actually sticking through his right boot. It's sticking through at an angle where you can see that it's pierced all the way through his ankle and out the other side. Currently has it rooted into the ground. He's also slightly stuck in the ground at his shoulder because that arrow is snapped, and it's now digging into the soft dirt. has him
All right.
basically in place.
Okay. What if we get those things out of him and then I heal him just for a little bit?
Well, no, let's just not hurry to take out things out of him just yet.
But he's dying.
And
Following me.
dying, dead, small difference. And Terra gives a very dark look at the gravedigger.
And you guys stopped me from stopping him in the town, and now he's dead. Good job.
Go ahead and roll a medicine check, those of you who are concerned for his immediate health.
I would like to. I want to try to retrieve my missed javelin.
The guy, I don't want him to die.
An 18.
I have missed you guys very much.
Yes.
And I try to retrieve my javelins. I don't know what your rules are on that.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I try to retrieve the javelins that are missing.
Oh, okay. Well,
right. They're in the muck. Good luck, buddy.
Are you retrieving in the medical sense or in the barbaric sense?
Oh no, not the ones stuck in him. The ones that missed.
Oh, I gotcha. Well, absolutely, you can go get those.
Okay.
I'll leave that in for now.
I don't think we really need your help intimidating him at this point. We got him on death's door. Like.
So.
Well, you kind of look him over. Those of you concerned about his, immediate, his immediate health, and I want to say, those of you rolling pretty high there, look him over, and they, as people who've been in battle and combats and fights, at least recently, for some of you, if not quite often for the others, you know that this man is not quite at death's door, but certainly will die without medical attention.
Alright. Now, friend, we might have some questions for you. I know some in a hurry, but I think we can take our time here. Now,
All right. So she goes to the first javelin. That's
Ragnar
sticking,
hit
I guess.
From 120 feet.
now,
And she's like, ask her question.
now
Ragnar's long-range talking sticks.
you're probably wondering why you suddenly got full of sticks all of a sudden, don't you? I'm guessing, I'm going to say that we have some questions for you. And I get the feeling that if you don't answer, we might just keep that stroll in the forest going and just leave you behind for whatever we had. Or let's say some nice flora we saw back there too. Might be feeling a bit peckish.
His eyes widen, and he says, "Ask your questions of me, then."
To add a little incentive, Corvus reaches into his pocket and produces a handful of good berries, which are like 10-something hours old, but they still serve as some incentive for the guy. I'll be the good cop.
Now, friend, please tell us, what was the deal between you and the coffin maker? And don't try to make up some story. We saw you, and we heard you.
You cannot hide what you have done, he says as he produces flame and holds it dangerously close to the man's face.
He grasps for his bag that's to his right, just out of his reach, and he's been grasping for it since you guys walked up. You probably just now noticed this, as he's doing it with all of his energy.
Part of me fucking snatches that shit and starts rifling through it.
You pull out what looks to be like a small, well, not a small, but rather large vial. It's like a palm-sized vial, square, as a matter of fact, in shape, of dark green fluid. And it's not very viscous. It's almost like water inside the little cube-like container that it's in. It's corked with a small, tiny little cork, and there's like a spout. And also, inside the bag, at the bottom of it, you find a set of bones with dirt all over them.
Whoa, wait.
So these are St. Andrew's bones?
These are the bones, not the bones that he gave. Wait, what?
Alright. Now,
Hardly surprising.
so now you've got a pocket full of surprise, but you still haven't yet to answer any questions. And Tarak's just gonna fiddle a bit with the arrow in his shoulder.
There is much to tell, but little time for me to tell it.
Don't
Okay.
Help me.
Could Imelda tear or just rip the javelin out of him and then cast Cure Wounds?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But pull it slower. Just make sure that there's nothing that stings you.
Tenderly.
7 hit points for him, and where it pierced is now just a little light scar. All right, so you are a little bit prolonged, as you would say. Tell us more.
What can I say? Milisov has never been a man of honor. So I double-crossed Henrik. What of it? That fool would bring ruin upon a town that gave him everything he has. I owe him no favors or allegiance. I owe no one in that town allegiance. They all look down on me. They won't
Then
be
you
waiting
would do
too
well.
long.
Do
Well,
well
luckily-
to save your life.
And luckily, we're not from that town, so why don't you start talking about what is in your bag and what it's for?
So I took the bones of St. Andrews. Yes. I was tasked by Henrik to steal them. I did not ask what his ploy was in this. I simply delivered something to him. Something he thinks were the bone of Andrel, at least. Idiot. He laughs a little bit to himself at this. But I take the bones for myself. I'm a collector, you see. And who's to say that these are the bones of St. Andrews? As a matter of fact, the very woods you stand, I have hidden bone after bone in various hiding spots. Do you
Is
want
he
to
bullshitting right now?
go ahead and roll an insight check on what he's saying at the moment to see if you think he's telling a lie or trying to run some distraction. Something
We should
about,
know the result of this.
something about the creepiness and conviction in his voice when he's talking about this collection. If you've ever known anybody who's had a precious collection of their own, or maybe even just a vendor who's been proud of their work, this is someone speaking in that kind of regard. So you get the sense that he may be telling the truth about these bones that he's hidden. Whether or not these are or aren't the bones of St. Andrews is going to be harder to distinguish. But at the moment, it seems that the story would fit.
Alright, you got
Ragnar, no, if you need me to discover Gravedigger's bones, I'd pull out one by one if she's not telling the truth.
It seems you have some weird taste. Well, we're not too interested in those. The other question we have is, what's that little vial there?
Yeah.
I will-
Artemis kind of, spins it in his hand a little bit, holds it over his face, and who was it meant for?
I will absolutely answer that question. Just hold that thought real quick. I'm gonna ask Kragnar to roll intimidation for his comment there.
Okay, coming
Yeah,
up.
pulling out bones one by one.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's scary,
Natural
and
20.
that
24.
matches the statement pretty well too.
God
As
damn.
you see his eyes widen again, and he looks at Kragnar, and he sees, I think, Kragnar's physical strength, Kragnar's rippling muscles, and Kragnar's still, I think, enraged, if I'm not wrong. Looking rather...
No, rage drop. Rage drops.
He's coming down of that roller coaster of rage, then slightly still steaming from the rage, and he definitely looks intimidating. He looks at you and he says, "I'll tell you anything you want to know. You want to know if these are the bones? Well, that I suppose you're going to have to kill me for." He smiles and laughs.
Alright, I'm tired of this. Kragnar, grab him. There's a nice flower
Wait,
there.
what
Be hungry. Grab him over there.
Yeah, what about who the poison's for?
The poison. It is indeed poison, yes. You are wise enough. It is for a certain someone out here in the woods. Old cleric, if you will. He is not of the domain of light, or a priest like our priest in town. More of a shaman. But he knows the powerful magics. He may be able to assist. Therefore, Henrik has tasked me with killing him. I plan to bring him some sweet wine, dosed with what you are holding. But I suppose I won't be making it now.
Definitely not, because he opens the vial and punches him in the mouth.
Whoa, we still need answers.
Alright,
No,
alright.
I didn't say I forced it down him yet. I just punched him in the mouth and have it open.
Ugh! You hear him grunt. This Artemian rocks him backwards, and he does, go slack-jawed for a minute, mildly unconscious at the force of Artemian's blow.
Corvus is going to come up and take the poison and just put it away in his little pouch.
Oh, why do you provoke me? I am honest with you. He says, rubbing at the spot on his mouth where Artemian punched him.
Not
So where
about
would we be
the
able
bone.
to find this person, this shaman?
The bones, they are mine. I told you, I am a collector. Why should I give them to you? I dug
Well,
them
I was
up
not
myself.
asking about the book.
I took them myself.
I'm not looking for the bones right now. I'm looking for that shaman.
Shaman? Just
The
further
person
to
that
the
you were
southeast.
that cleric.
He replies, just further to the southeast.
We'll be sure to send him your regards.
So, now tell us, friend. You've been quite helpful. That's been very appreciated. Now, maybe you should give us a reason not to go feed the plants.
You feed me to the plants, and you'll never find the bones, will you?
Nah.
He smiles, knowing he has you basically where he wants you.
Right.
That is true. However, they're just bones to us. And you're there. Kragnar, just drag him over there. I think our friend has outlived his usefulness.
You could still live if Kragnar rips one leg bone out. Maybe he talk then.
Of course. An appetizer.
Well,
So
what
you
if-
are a bone collector. Kragnar, what is this one? And he, in a very painful and slow fashion, is going to where the injury with the javelin is. He's going to sink his hand into it and just begin.
Wait, no, she ripped it out and then healed him.
Oh no, he's ripping the bone out.
Oh,
my
the
God.
rip. Oh, God. Can Imelda try and stop him?
Sure.
What would I roll for this?
There really does need
You
to
don't
be
have
like
to.
an
You
interference
can
roll.
convince him.
Okay.
You can.
Ragnar, stop! We need more answers.
He'd not die if I rip out leg bone. You can heal. He's
But
in
I
the
don't want to use all my spells on this weirdo. Sorry. She looks at the man down on the ground for calling him a weirdo.
Okay. You just tell me when you're ready to motivate him to speak more. Kragnar, however you want.
Artemine puts his hand on Ragnar's shoulder. Good job, my friend.
I
Watch when you get tired of it.
I'm sure, though, that if we bring you to that shaman, he might have ways to make you talk. Or we could just rip more bones out like our friend was trying to do. That's up to you. Which one do you think is going to be more fun for us?
Roll persuasion, Tarek.
Yeah.
Hey,
Not bad.
I want to say you sent a seed of doubt in his confidence. Really, as soon as you mention sort of not taking interest in the bones anymore, that seed of doubt seems to blossom and grow rather rapidly as soon as you mention bringing him to the shaman, perhaps making him face the consequences. So you kind of sort of hit a bell there, and I would say without even needing to roll insight, he's wearing this on his face, the worry of being brought before the shaman.
Rachel just reminded me of something. As Artemine is standing by seeing this look on his face, right? He casts Detect Thoughts to read his mind.
A little late on that, but yep.
No, it's not necessarily late, because now that is what he's thinking about, and it's his surface level thoughts, so I don't even have to roll for it.
Oh.
On the forefront of his mind, you can see that he's thinking about why he is afraid of the shaman. You also see kind of, I want to say, a vivid scene for a moment flash before your eyes of him as a young boy wandering out into the woods, a slingshot in his hand, slaying small creatures like frogs and toads, even birds that rested in trees. And he also gets kind of scruffed up from behind by this interesting looking hooded figure covered in leaves and brush and twigs sticking out from his dusty and tattered looking robe. He's taken, kicking and scrambling through the forest, deep and deep and deeper into the woods, until he arrives at what looks like a very sketchy-looking hut built into a tree amidst the center of a massive ravine. There's swamplands all around this territory, It looks like one of the most treacherous parts of the forest, at least, from what you can see around. You can feel the fear in him, too, as you're looking and detecting these thoughts. This is true natural fear. This is the fear of a child remembering a terrible memory. And then you see the face, painted and tattooed, and pierced through the nose, the eyebrows, the mouth, the ears, the earlobes, the chin, and the cheeks. The shaman, staring down with his dark, coal-like eyes, in judgmental fashion. Just before something is placed over his head, and the memory fades out.
Yes, you fear this carnivorous plant, but you fear the shaman even more. For you were but a small child, were you not? Ooh, this is delicious. You will be following us to the shaman if you do not tell us what you have done with the bones, and truth only, for I will know, lest you find yourself reunited with your childhood tormentor.
His face, already of a extremely pallor, goes even whiter, and then ghostly white. As his eyes widen in terror. No! 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 Don't bring me to him!
Tell us what we want to know.
I've hidden the bones out there in a cave beyond the shaman's hut. They are safe there. I will take you there and give them to you. If you do not make me face the wrath of the shaman.
I want to see if he's actually going to lead us to this place, or if he's just playing with us.
Corvus tells him to just tell us the landmarks. We're not going to hobble through the swamp with him.
You see the place that he's talking about in his head as you're still detecting thoughts too, because the time on that is up to a minute. So like all the while, Artemian is in his brain still, and he doesn't know this.
So convenient.
I imagine that you subtle cast that too. You're not like pulling out your copper piece in front of him.
I'm with you, dude. I don't have subtle.
Look at this
I straight
coin.
up did it.
Exactly.
I did it.
You just did it. he still is unaware, I will say, though. And while you're in his mind, you see this place he's talking about. It is a cave. And there is this dripping green ooze that drips from the ceiling ominously. But there is a chest. Dusty. And it has a lock on it. And you can feel in his head that this place is where he's hid the bones.
Cave. Slimy walls. Sounds about right. Kragnar, take him anyway.
Yes, it sounds like we have everything we need. Now it's time to bring him to this shaman so he can receive nature's justice.
No! No! Don't double-cross me and bring me to him.
Silence him, Kragnar.
Yeah, Ragnar, just knock his lights out, please. He's annoying us.
No!
Or not one. He told truth.
Yeah, I know. But now we just need him to sleep for a moment.
Or what if we just, maybe tie him up, and then the blood will just drop other creatures?
We will let the shaman deal with this one. Apparently, they go back a while.
Alright, okay, well, we'll drag you to the shaman, and then he can decide to do whatever he'll do.
You say he tell truth.
Yeah, it seems like it. Just worst case scenario, Shaman's going to end the job for us.
We have what we need from him. But he will be a problem in the future if we do not deal with him now. It would seem as though our best course of action would be to relieve his fears.
My friend, we had him almost left for dead in the swamp, and he was still terrified of the shaman, not us. There must be a reason.
All right. Well, at least if you don't feel like using,
Seems like we'll find out soon enough, though.
Yeah. Let's at least climb up and. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, he's going to put him out of his misery.
Oh, just knock him up. Just knock him up. Knock him out. You take out a weapon. Just
knocking him up and knocking him out is going to be two very different roles.
Very
I'm telling you right
different.
now.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. Knock him out.
No, not just your little puppet. Not tell me what to do.
Oh no, I'm just.
If he double cross us, he dies.
All right. If you don't feel like using your knuckles, that's fine.
A liar, though. Then we just like him.
We do not believe him a liar. However, he has endangered all of the people of that fair town that we just left.
Yeah, and all for a twisted little interest. A twist. Turok's gonna twist the arrowhead in his shoulder still.
Why not get Bones and bring him back to the town? Maybe there's reward.
Somehow I'm not interested in seeing this guy's collection.
And not just that, but we would need to explain why he's like this right now. And then, what if the whole town is in a panic because now the bones are missing?
But we're getting Bones now, right?
They do not yet know that they have gone unprotected. The quivering masses will surely panic should they know that even for a moment they were under threat from Strahd.
And also, why would they believe us? We're outsiders right now.
That pathetic Baron has no chance of maintaining civility in that town.
All right, for now, let's just deal with the problem at hand. And I say, if we don't feel like losing some knuckle, using our knuckles to tender him up, I guess we can just gag him and tie him up and then bring him over there.
Take him. He not heavy. He be my baggage. We find Bones. We bring him back. Give him to church. Let church deal with him.
I'm interested to meet this shaman character, though. And Corvus looks to Imelda to see if she's also interested.
I mean, I would really like to meet this person. But we also... Well, aren't we supposed to go out for supper?
Yeah, we have a meeting to attend to. So I suggest we follow our friend Kragnar's idea, and maybe just go get the bones, and if he's a good boy and plays the game well, he gets to go see the church and explain his deeds. And if he does not play well, if he's not a team player, I guess we're going to have to find out what that shaman definitely looks like.
From a time perspective, some of you may worry that going out to these locations may jeopardize your punctuality for dinner.
All right.
And that's not me. That's not me trying to dissuade you guys from going out there. It's just something to notice. You know, this may be a crossroads from a decision.
We started this whole tangent with like 3 hours until the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. I guess how important do we feel it is to attend this dinner? You know, like
extremely important. It may lock us out of the town.
I definitely need to know what the inside of his manor looks like, so when I plan to kill him, I will know what I'm walking into.
So
just to be clear, we got the location of the bones, correct?
Yes. Well, you got the location of the bones.
Rough.
From his mind, so to speak. So it's not as if you have a map, but you do know that there is indeed a cave, as you sort of saw it, or Artemine sort of saw it through his mind's eye, and that that is where he's hidden the bones.
Yeah, we just know it's near the shaman hermit's
Hey,
cottage or whatever.
Yep.
It seems fair to think that maybe the shaman knows where that cave probably is if it's near his place.
I would say it's more than
Aaron.
And so,
Artemine-
do we feel like we'd be able to find the shaman's hut from where we are currently?
Seems well known enough if they wanted
He gave us
to kill him.
general.
I'm waiting for the DM's answer.
Oh yeah, southeast. Yeah, he told you. He kind of told you guys when you guys were questioning him about that. Like if you continue southeast, you'd be able to find it. You'll run into it. He described, or it was described too from Artemine's perspective. I'd say as like this wide gorge. So like a huge gorge where two kind of cliffs split, so to speak, and in the middle of it is this massive swamp with this huge tree-like hut, and the hut is literally built into the tree. And you kind of got all that from the little vision quest Artemine went on.
Also, I will remind that I have a bird who can just fly up in the air to spy these large, land features
That's true.
before we even go try to find them. So we can assuredly retrace through the visions that Artemine has seen and his familiar's like aerial view what we're looking for at a later point. It's not like if we don't go now, we'll fucking forget it.
Okay, Kragnar have idea. Kragnar, take Gravedigger, bury him, and we go back to church and town now. Get later.
All right. So Darok's gonna agree with that, and he's gonna tie up the guy and gag him up, and then let's walk, people. We don't want to be late for dinner. We need to do
And,
nice.
So, what are we doing with him?
We're bringing him to the church. Yeah.
Hey, that's where he works. Bring him back to his boss.
Yeah, I suppose at worst comes to worst, I could summon my familiar to watch him.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. He's got a wolf, right?
Actually, I decided he's a blink dog.
Oh, that's even cooler.
Yeah. And his name is Spotty, and I love him.
Kragnar picks up the Gravedigger. Go ahead.
Oh, isn't that an arrow through him? Won't they be a little bit suspicious?
Oh no, I think it's looking very nice there. Yeah, exactly. Fashion.
No, I mean, would it look suspicious if we walk in and they don't even know any of the context?
We'll explain. They
It'll
understand.
just look like we beat him up.
I'm getting the feeling that people in Barovia are used to seeing those kind of sights.
Are you
And
sure?
We worry about that when we get to village.
I
So-
I'm
mean,
gonna
but
go with
aren't
my
there
original
rules,
plan.
like a list of rules that are really like strict.
Hey, we can always say that we found him and he's gone mad, and we're just bringing him to the priest to get healed.
I'm gonna go with my original plan. Aaron extends his hand and grabs the Gravedigger by his mouth and point blank casts Chill Touch to end his life.
Come on, guys. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
All right, we're gonna play evil guys now.
Artemine is totally neutral, and we've been pretty good so far, so I don't think he's going to care that much. I was
The only
threatening
thing-
to pour the shit down his throat.
The
Oh.
only thing this will serve to do is cause us headaches.
He could have helped us. He could have.
Summon Spotty then. Okay.
So he could have just helped with getting us favors with the priest and explain the whole thing with the bones. But I guess now it's too late.
We'll have plenty of favors with the priest once we return the bones.
Yeah, it's easier to prove they're the real ones if he's still alive.
Right. No more of this.
Just
Oh.
drop him down.
Just know, and he looks at Artemine. If you involve Kragnar from now on, Kragnar will only tell the truth and keeps to his word. Do not involve me if you plan to lie and kill.
Yeah. Twisting
Well, at
arrows
this
is
point,
fine.
It's not our concern. We'll retrieve the bones later, verify their authenticity, and then decide what to do. I
So-
suppose we should probably speak to the shaman before that, though.
So Aaron
But
kills the
after
guy.
dinner.
I guess
You
so.
see the skeletal hand kind of form out of Aaron's hand and suddenly begin to clasp the throat of the gravedigger Milisov. This is happening kind of while you guys are arguing about this, I'll say. And he's certainly choking the life out of him.
I'll say
Yeah.
Corvus notices what is happening, but does nothing to intervene.
Terak will intervene. If he has time.
Yeah, you kind of like, it's almost as if like someone would be physically choking someone. Probably takes the same amount of time for this to take effect in the way that Aaron is looking to do. The damage occurs immediately, and you can't regain hit points until the start of next round. Yet, it's not enough to kill him.
Come on, man.
Back when
So I will break his I will break his concentration by pushing him, shoving him. It's like communication is key here. We have to make decisions as a group. Let's not act rashly now.
He shoves you hard enough, Aaron, to break your concentration and stop the spell. Yet, not hard enough to hurt you in any way.
Yeah. No, that was not the point. That was not the idea, yeah. Listen now.
Ragnar will interpose. He grabs the the gravedigger, and throws him over his shoulder.
Now,
Like,
yeah, it's good. All right, people. Now we know we all have our own ideas, but we're all a team here. Stop acting like you're alone. We need to all talk to each other, come to a consensus, and make sure that everybody's okay with any decision, especially murder. And he looks at Artemine and Aaron, definitely for those words. Not all of us.
I don't know about this whole consensus thing, but we need to agree.
Now, we should all talk to each other when we want to do something. I know some of us get annoyed quickly, but we all need to work together if we're to get out of this land alive. And I like you guys. You're good people in the end, I think so. But we all need to chill out. Pun intended.
I've begun to notice this becoming a distant prospect.
So now.
I agree with almost everything that you said, but the thing that I'm concerned about is if we walk into that town with him, we'll lose our advantage, which is everyone just thinks that we're just newcomers. We don't know anything or whatever is going on here. We have the advantage.
All right. So
like whatever plan that that gravedigger had, he might escalate it even quicker.
So
if he knows
what you're
that we
saying
have
is we should bring the proof if we're going to bring him and turn him in for the crime.
Wait, what?
The proof, the bones.
Yeah.
So the thing is, we don't have time. If we lose our access to the town, getting those bones is going to get us nowhere. Because that's what we're. So remember, people, we're trying to meet the mayor to do that festival to gain full access to the town. If we don't meet that up, that guy might just lock us out of town because he's annoyed with us.
Maybe,
So
yeah.
not everyone. I don't think everyone has to meet with the Burgermeister. I know personally, Artemine has not shown any sort of performance-related skills to be able to put forth towards the festival. He also is the one who's
giving me an idea. This is giving me an idea. Think about it. We just did a service for this town. What if we tried our best to present this to the Burgermaster as us doing a service and see what we could get? in return.
Yeah.
And we would have to go get the bones.
So-
That we found the guy who took the bones, and then once we make good on our proclamations, we can really make good on our gains here.
So does
We
that
gotta
mean
show
that
up with the bones.
So wait,
We
yeah,
can
so
gain
then,
the Burgermaster's favor with very little effort on our own part.
so
That's
does
a-
that
That is a risk, though.
Does
course.
anyone have a magic bag? You know?
No, none of us.
I do.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah, back a woman.
we could take Gravedigger, carry him, when get to town, stuff him in bag. No explaining to guards needed.
wait, but
Did he stay alive in the back?
He'll
I don't think they do. I think that they die out of character. Like after
Oh, that was
the
in character. That question was in character.
My response was in character. No, he will suffocate.
All right.
Just head out of the bag.
So we've met that we did meet a strapping young guard earlier that we might be able to convince that we're bringing him back for justice. And we've got somebody who knows.
Still, they might find it suspicious that we don't produce proof on the spot.
The Burgermeister also seems like one that wouldn't give us an opportunity to explain.
Yeah.
All this talking hurting Kragnar head.
So, or we can just get the priest and make him walk out of the town if you guys feel worried about it. But like I say, we need to meet that. At least talk to Isaac, because if we mess with that guy, I get the feeling we're not going to have a good time after that.
Yes, but the thing is, he reports to the Burgermeister, and if we can gain the favor of the Burgermeister, his will be diminished in turn.
Do you really think that a man who throws festivals or to distract his own people is going to really care about
This
the
is
more
exactly
bones?
why it's valuable.
Wait. Is part of is phase 1 of all plans. Get Gravedigger, carry back to town.
Yes, that's step 1.
Okay. Then let's start phase 1 and discuss phase 2 while we walk.
Sounds good enough.
That's the smartest thing Kragnar has said all day long.
Don't you realize what most common saying of party is so far?
Yeah, you're good. You big guy. You're a smart one.
I agree with Kragnar. And he chucks him and starts walking. Or now figure out rest of plan. Or
If the guy looks like he's gonna, yeah.
Yep.
So
make up as we go.
I think Artemine really, really feels like those bones are necessary and would be okay with showing up a little late if he had them in hand.
yeah, a little.
That's what I was thinking our other option was.
I have a saying when going to client sites: it's always better to be late with donuts than on time with nothing in your hands.
That's what I'm fucking saying. That is what I'm saying, dude. We're about to show up with a dude that we pummeled almost to death, and nothing but an accusation and no proof. So, like, if Artemine is the one who's got this clearest thing, he's gonna go fucking find that shit, and then let everyone else go to meet the Burgermaster. Artemine doesn't talk well.
Yeah, I'd probably go with you because
I think Imelda would go with you to find the bones because, like, she doesn't want to go empty-handed. Like, she doesn't
Orvis
think
would
that
like to
having
go
this
as
person-
well, but it seems
Right.
like 3's enough.
Yeah, like.
doesn't Imelda have a talent?
All right,
She
so
wanted to-
So let's make something clear here, guys. I'm in character, by the way.
Okay.
There's no gonna be splitting up the group in the middle of a swamp with crazy monsters running around. Some others just stashing bones around the ground, apparently, like some weird dog. Now we got to make a decision. So half of us seem to want to go back to town. Half of us wants to go get the bones. I'm gonna switch sides and say let's go with the bones. Now, does everybody else feel okay with going to get the bones, be a little bit late, and then maybe convince Izak?
Show up with triumphant proof.
And then
Yeah.
we can bring him as well, with us to
And-
explain how we found them, what happened.
And who
We
knows?
don't kill him.
Just
We don't
swiftly.
take him to the shaman. We don't do any of that nefarious shit that we were threatening him with. We go the high route after just threatening him.
And then
Yeah.
we could go and find that shaman, tomorrow or something.
Is that really
Right.
the high road? I think we both know what the Baron will do to the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. He put the population of Valaki
That is
in
true.
danger.
They'll tear him apart themselves. We don't need to dirty our hands with it.
Yeah,
Well,
we
I
just
have a
keep him
feeling
with
this-
us and then turn him in.
All right,
This
that's
shaman may be a powerful character with influence in this area. I saw the fear in this one's eyes at the prospect of being brought before him.
he
The fear
he
was
went
far beyond that we imposed.
definitely.
And after saying that, Corvus looks at Kragnar and just looks up and down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. We
All right,
get bones.
Let's go get the bones. All right. So we all decided to go for the bones. Consensus, people. Communication.
These guys continue
Victory.
to head
This is good.
southeast in the direction of the shaman's hut, or at least
Yes.
the direction you guys think the shaman's hut is in. And
Yes.
not long, you come to a massive gorge, as is described by the dreams, or the surface thoughts that Artemine was able to read there. So let me get you guys to that board, and then once we get there, we're going to take a quick 5 to 10 minute break, get some drinks, do the bio thing, and we will be shortly resuming.
Yeah. Man, Rachel, good call on the detect thoughts. I
was thinking,
forgot.
when is he going to use that? I was like, does he remember?
That was seriously
Playing your character than you.
That was seriously a curveball for me too. As soon as you said it, I was like, "Well, fuck! Now I gotta go read detect thoughts to make sure I know this exactly what's going on here." And then,
Wall of text.
yeah,
Wall of text spell.
it is a big texty spell. But I would like to commend you as well. That was an awesome move, and everybody just kind of gelling today on the investigative front. Very impressed with the mature handling of how what to do next, where to go, especially when there's so many different things that can be done. But all I could say is, if I was a teacher, I'd be giving an A+ right now.
Aw.
All choices.
Yeah, that too, but the violent impulses dock us some points, though.
No, not in this class.
Well,
See, because that's a tool. It's just a tool for
not
getting
like
what
we're
you want.
surrounded by enemies.
Yeah, I mean, not that there's really ever a wrong thing to do, but I can't see a single thing that has been wrong from a strategy standpoint today. So commend all of you. But
We didn't act on our violent impulses. you know.
right, very wise.
I mean, we were just gonna kill that guy, and then I thought about it. I'm like, wait, there's a way more ambitious route we can take here. That sounds like a better
yeah.
idea.
Definitely.
It's all
Just
part of the
killing this guy in the
evolution.
swamp
The
like a couple of
evolution of the
brigands.
plan.
So, yeah. Definitely, guys. Okay.
So we're moving to a new map and then taking a break. Is that right?
Yep. Let me get you guys to that new map. And Siri thinks I'm talking to her right now for some reason.
Like maps.
I almost,
Yeah, I don't
What's
know.
up?
After
Yeah.
the last session,
if Aaron had pushed it, I would have.
No, don't hurt him, don't hurt him. And now everyone's like, kill him, throw the javelins, shoot the arrows. I love it.
Okay.
The 180.
We don't know what he was going to
Careful
do.
with that,
We
or
don't
it's gonna
know where
spread to
he
me.
was going. We
Two
hits
we could
from
have been
120
following
yards
him
with the
forever for nothing.
I'm just saying, be careful with the violent impulses, or they spread like wildfire.
Exactly. And this is a place that if one wrong move can get us a whole lot of trouble. So if you start, so we don't know. Like that guy, that fireball might have just startled like a bunch of ghouls out of nowhere.
Scumbags. No, I don't care. But he admitted
I mean,
to being.
I never
scumbag, too.
intended. I was aiming, killing him. Like, I just wanted him to stop running because we could have been following him for like fucking ever. for him to just like show up at the next town trying to use a different name, like not even going to go meet someone.
I could see how this is something that might go through Kragnar's head, but if you said this to Corvus, he'd be like, "What are you talking about?"
So basically, if you guys want to do something like that, just talk about it, and then we'll say, "Hey, okay, fine, we're going to do something about it now, but let's get in position first, so that way we can cut off his escape or just circle around him right away."
Ragnar throw 2 javelins, hit target from far away.
And you did very well.
33% of the party was down with it. And it worked out. But I agree. We could next time for sure. Before I lob firebolt,
Well,
I'll be
I'll
like,
tell you
all
what,
right, I'm about to lob this firebolt. I'm about to. What you guys think?
That was supposed to be warning shot.
If you think someone's really gonna get away, just tell me, and I'll unleash the hounds. If you know what I mean.
We've got a bunch of spells that can just like stop him in his tracks.
Dude,
like I can make him laugh to the ground.
They're gonna get him. Don't worry.
But you just before doing any rash actions, just talk to everybody. Say, "Hey, I want to do this absolutely," and then we can see how we react to that. It's gonna help stop a lot of quick reactions, and make sure everybody's on board and ready to do something.
Right, but you saw me hit. You saw me hit twice.
Executive actions.
And this is me talking like, and this is speaking like not to stop anybody from doing any actions. This is more of a let's work as a group here, like as a team, and teams talk to each other.
Okay, but you saw me hit.
I get what you mean.
Twice.
People still like to take the executive actions sometimes, though. They're like, "Nope, I'm doing it." Sometimes you can't convince them otherwise.
And that's okay. Sometimes it just happens. It's just let's process things through.
Part of it produced tension, and we made it through what could have been a really lukewarm interrogation.
Oh no! Trust me, I didn't go.
One blood.
Oh, this is the new map. We're already on it. I didn't realize that.
And trust me, I didn't even get to roll in the intimidation, and I would have gone pretty far with it. He's good. Alignment is good, but he's definitely used to torture.
Yeah, torture is a lot more excusable when you can simply heal your target when you're done.
Exactly. Oh, and
I don't know why the elves embrace that so much. Even the non-drows do that. I don't know.
Honestly, my first thought was to punch him in the mouth and then feed him a healing potion so that he wouldn't die. But then I was like, wait a second, I'm holding this poison in my hand. I should punch him in the mouth and threaten him with this poison. Like,
man, give me that poison. I could be dipping my arrows in that. Don't be dumb.
Yeah.
So we're on break right now. Is that right?
Yeah, we're break.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, I'll be back.
I used that poison. I'm gonna run some checks on it.
And it's good that people want to participate, but sometimes we need to listen to other people because we're talking over each other a lot right now. And I'm including myself into this.
that is kind of the nature of the beast when you've got a six-headed Hydra party.
Yeah, exactly. But sometimes it's all right to just like let others like do the thing, and then we can jump in at the right time. And like I said, I'm including myself a lot in there.
Yeah, I try to stay relatively quiet till it's pertinent.
Same for the most part. And if I don't, it's a quick interjection.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, there's 6 of us. Sometimes it's going to be hard to always be in the action.
Yeah, I try to keep it as short-winded as possible.
Oh yeah. Well, when it's the druid stuff, nature stuff? Yeah, definitely. You guys like the druids, like go crazy on it for sure. That's your toy. Like that's your area of expertise for sure.
Yeah, we can tell you guys don't want to meet the shaman, but we're gonna meet him. Sorry.
Oh, we don't have a choice at this point.
Oh, I mean, don't say that. There's always a choice.
Oh yeah, sure. But if you want to get those, it's still like the easiest way to get those bones working again.
I don't know. What convinced Corvus about the guy's power is the sheer terror in that guy's eyes.
No,
Like,
sometimes.
we had him dead to rights in the swamp. He's freaking critically wounded. We're about to murder him, but he's scared of this shaman, not us.
Yeah, sometimes the childhood traumas that got
Uh,
hold on you.
I mean, that's a good guess, but yeah.
No, yeah, it's fine. We got the answers. We know what we're gonna do. We talked it out. Hey,
We
we
already
know.
saw the night hag going around. There's clearly other powerful entities around that we could maybe even cajole into basically being on our side. Not really on our side, but just against Strahd, you know?
I get the feeling sometimes they're
It's
gonna
almost
say
like
that.
the final goal, isn't it?
I don't know, but yeah, it's possible.
I mean, it's also possible to ally with none of them and go in there alone and somehow defeat them, I'm sure, but
Oh
has
no,
anybody ever succeeded at that?
I don't think so. It's more of a choosing our allies correctly.
Exactly. That's
I
kind
don't
of the idea I get that it's the overall point of the campaign, but Corvus is kind of like building it up in his head, especially after hearing the story about how the last attempt at this failed spectacularly.
Exactly.
That's why I'm firmly in camp. Inspire the locals, and by inspiring the locals, we definitely need to get rid of the shitty
Really
Baron.
inspire them. We'll have to practically uncurse the land and everything. Yeah, no, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Also,
It's a
yeah.
lot. It is
And
a lot, but we are going to level 20, mind you, so we have more time.
Exactly. That's a good
than
point.
you normally
There
would.
is now room for all of it and more.
So the thing is, I'm not worried. Like getting the population on our side, definitely good. I'm just worried about the actual strength of the population. Is they're
this
just
place is choking the life out of mortals. Can't you tell?
no, exactly that. So to drag them with our side is very excellent. I'm just saying, like we probably have better allies that we can find somewhere else than just the peasants. That's my thought. And I was thinking more of and I'm going to share that out of character, but Tarok's going to share the idea of putting the Lady Walker and the Mayor up against each other and try to get them to kill it.
But the thing is, do you really want the Walkers in charge of Valaki?
Oh no, I want each other to get themselves so weak that they can't do anything anymore. Or
that's
maybe killing it.
Harder. We're going to have to do some drow shit to get that to happen. Come on.
Yeah, we'll see. Like if they attack each other and kill each other, that's just better for us.
Having to poison their entire garrisons or some crap like that.
Oh no, but if they fight each other, as long as the heads fall, like the rest is going to be much easier.
Fine, but if we're doing assassin stuff, you're doing it.
No, we're doing political stuff. That's even worse.
I have a particular method that I have used before.
I'll provide the poison, but you're doing the assassin shit.
Oh no, we don't need to get to us to kill them. We just need them to kill each other.
I mean, we could do that, or we could magically just delete whichever one we want to delete via sneakiness and spells that can be stacked upon stacked as long as you are sneaky and have time.
Yeah, but then we have to
an approach I was talking about.
Yeah, but then we're doing the job, and that's a lot of work. We could just convince each other that they each want to kill each other, and they're each a threat for each other, and then they just raise tensions until they kill each other, and we're the heroes for cleaning up after.
You said we're trying to be good here. That's going to end up with half the population of Valaki dead. The town's basically going to be done for after that.
This also seems like a lot of work.
And we'll see. But killing somebody right now might have some effects down the road that we're not sure yet.
Corvus is of the opinion that there are far greater threats in the wilderness of Barovia than there are in the human populations.
And so you know what?
That's why he's just kind of uninterested in the intrigue with the people, the mortals, the humans.
Yeah, I'll agree with Tarok's going to agree.
Corvus realizes are spiritual, extraplanar,
At the moment, yeah, Tarek's going to agree with that. We just need to first find a way
I
to
find Corvus caring too much about this stuff, but
it's start by first doing what we need to do right now.
stuff like
And if we get to the point where we need to take control of the town or whatever, like something like that, let's make sure we've got things
I just want to
that
make
so
sure
that
it's
there's
standing
success.
when we're done, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So
We're
right
gonna
now,
chant.
so no rush. Right now, just make sure we can still enter the town, and then once we know we've got some plan in place to make sure things succeed at the end.
So
And
are we
maybe
going
that.
with this ambitious plan to try and seize favor over all others?
Well, right now, let's just try not to piss anybody else off.
Oh, we will piss everybody off except the Baron. You know it.
We'll
At least
start with that.
everybody vying for his favor.
Yeah, but if the people, and then if
They
we,
will
the other,
hate us so much. Jumping ahead of all of them in line and just in snap of a finger.
who knows? We're just trying to get access to the town. We're not trying to become servants of the mayor.
No, we can get his favor and then use that to manipulate them into doing whatever the hell we want.
That's an option.
Heroes of the City is something entirely different. You are like the one that the people look to. So if you are heroes of the city while subtly eliminating the leaders of the city, you just fall into this, oh my god, well, you saved us when times were tight, and holy shit, our leaders are dead. Will you please just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's a lot of maybe.
Why? That's no big deal. Then you simply use your unilateral power to delegate a new leader.
I can
Yeah,
literally build this character to create a mechanically sound one and done boom assassination that also does not leave us complicit in the crime. I
and
have
that's
already
okay.
done this before. So if we want to take that route, just let me know and I will let you guys know what I did.
So the
Yeah.
answer.
No,
Taking credit for finding the bones is a good start.
So right now, the answer is definitely no, because we need to find somebody to take their place first, and we're supposed to be the good.
Just pick someone once you have the power, and hopefully you know the people well enough to
No,
choose wisely.
let's just give
What
it
about
to the
Arena and
fucking
Ismark?
president.
That's like such a tyrant way of talking about it.
Yeah,
So-
it
No,
is. But
guess
if your
what?
intentions are good
The
enough,
whole
hopefully the end
land
result
is
Yeah,
somehow
that's
justifies the
by a
means.
bloodthirsty tyrant.
so
And he's gonna go more than these people matter.
So right now so remember, guys, if we become too bad, then like Strahd's gonna start to go, maybe start have convincing arguments to help us out. So we need to stay on the good side.
If he hasn't already.
As far as I'm concerned, the only way to really do that in the end is make sure that someone better is in charge of the town. And that's really
Yes. And
what matters.
so let's take it one step at a time. Ideas of grandeur are great, but let's take it one step at a time. Figure out what we're gonna do. Figure out
Saying we
what's
need to
around
explore
us.
a little more and actually find some people who would be good candidates to take over.
Yeah, or people that might advise us.
What about
We
Arena?
just nuke everything. Once we know, we nuke the problem and insert solution.
Well, we'll see if that's necessary or not. If it is, fine. If it's not, maybe there's easier ways of doing things. So let's before we go all crazy, murdery, let's take it one step at a time and think about we're supposed to be helping these people in the sense that not insert ourselves as the replacement for the people who already are tyrants to them.
No.
Is that what we're supposed to be doing here, though?
Control this fucking town. I don't want anything to do with controlling the town. I want the town to not fucking suffer under a magicless ruler. And so that dude's just got to go. Otherwise, this town's going to die, and this town is just going to be useful for us to fucking not die under the oppressive darkness that is Strahd.
and that's fine for now. So Strahd seems to think this is a good state, so that's probably why he's leaving these guys alone. So before we do any actions, we need to be like really ready to have the next steps ongoing. That's all I'm saying. If we're gonna go like the stabby mode, that's okay. We just need to be ready.
No, we're too small for stabby mode. We're too small right now. Level 5 is not enough to go fucking end game stages of building army and
Oh
confronting
yeah,
Strahd.
and I'll agree with that 100%. I'm just saying like
That's just if I'm playing level 20.
yeah, then we're not there yet. So let's first deal with what's in front of us and see how things go. And once we're like demigods, we'll see what we do about this whole thing. Because we're going to have to fight a god after that.
Yeah,
Hey,
no, right now we're in
you people
making
plan too
ourselves
much.
become heroes.
Yeah, it's too far ahead. And you guys, like, who knows which character is going to... Maybe we're going to lose people along the way. So thinking that far ahead is just that. Bones, guy, bring town, like find Bones, bring back guy, get flavor. That's all we need to think about right now.
Do you guys have backup characters for this game?
I do.
How about instead of a backup character, you buy a damn diamond?
Nobody can do Revivify, so.
I can. I told you already.
But that's not a Drit spell. That's sorry. That's fine. You know what? That's fine. I'll let you guys deal with that.
What if
I'll be able to eventually anyway, as well.
Totes Druid spell. Totes.
It is now. It's putting it on my list. I'm not arguing with D&D Beyond. I don't know why. It got added to the list, I guess. It's on an optional list or something.
What if someone's against the idea of being brought back to life after they die?
That's...
Damn you! I wanted to die.
Yeah, the soul has to be willing.
No, but what if they're against using necromancy to bring them back?
They will definitely. If it's an NPC, I will make you aware of that in their demeanor.
I think they changed the nature. They changed the nature of the spells. They're not necromancies anymore.
Yeah, Revivify is a holy spell. It's a cleric paladin spell.
Yep.
Are you sure?
No, it's still necromancy.
I just looked at it. No, it isn't.
Oh, no, it's not. Okay, they changed it. But yeah, definitely the
people whining about that.
Can it be both depending on who's casting it?
Yeah, probably. So out of character, and that's fine. So
they can just say the spirit flat out refuses, and they've already been judged or something like that. You could totally say something like that.
And this is, and by the way,
diamond got consumed.
So if you're going to,
yeah, unfortunately.
So if you're, I don't know. You know what? Forget about it. It's fine.
Oh, you had it too.
No, you just tell them I'm out of character. No, I want to make a new character, guys. Okay, don't remind me.
Bones.
All right, so we are all here. Yes.
The best thing to do in that situation, I think, is if you don't want to be revivified and you're getting revivified as a player, or just message me and I'll message the person who's revivifying you, and they'll understand that their revivify for some reason doesn't work.
For record, Kragnar want to be brought back.
Kragnar is refusing to sign the DNR.
Orvis is not confirming nor denying that he has been resurrected before.
Baron has already been brought back, so...
Your do not resurrect paperwork is voided. Thank you, Kragnar. Decline.
Yes. I mean, we don't like contracts anyway, so I'm not signing anything.
And it looks like we are all back. You guys, like I said, you come to this sort of gorge, this massive split in the earth. It almost looks like an earthquake occurred here at some point in time. It does not look very natural, its formation.
Here. Look, big gorge. Whoa, that looked like shaman house in tree. Me not expert, but
And on the second level, where the roof, you can see in the distance a figure walking around tending to some small plants that exist on the outside of the house.
I'm wondering if perhaps we should greet him? Like, isn't this his, like, area, you know, like, his dominion, you know, like, where he's, like, protecting it? Like, wouldn't he notice that we're going around?
Yes, much like a hag might, or perhaps an archdruid.
So what are we going to do with him? And she looks at the gravedigger.
No. Yes, well, if the shaman may notice him if we bring him.
Sounds like he was headed here anyway.
Indeed,
Inform
he
the
will be
shaman.
owed an explanation.
Inform the shaman of his intentions.
And then ask him if he'll allow us to leave with him and bring him back to Valaki. Hopefully he'll be feeling amicable after we saved him from being poisoned.
It's true. That's a good idea. Me like. Only other thing would be like disguise him.
I don't know how comfortable I feel about disguising someone whose job is meant to protect, you know, piece of land.
No,
Especially if he's a holy
disguise gravedigger.
Why would we go through the trouble?
There's only suggestion. We just explained situation. Me like. Where we go?
The real question
down
from
gorge?
here is how do we get down?
I have the answer to that. Imelda, if you would be so kind as to follow along with us in whatever form you see fit, I can get the rest of us down this cliff. He says as he casts Featherfall on everyone.
Okay.
I can get down. I don't need it.
What, how deep is the gorge?
Let me see here. On Tailspire.
About 30 feet down.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yep. Spot on.
Okay, great.
Featherfall has a limit. It doesn't just do it for everybody. Oh, well.
It does it for, it says choose 5 falling creatures. And so we are 6. And I suppose, yeah, you could also change into a bird so that we can also Featherfall the dipshit who fucking got himself involved.
The druids can't do that. You can't change into birds until like 8th or
Yeah.
9th level.
Well, I can always cast it twice.
There's other animals.
Best reaction ever.
Could I use,
carrying
like-
body.
Either way, however it happens, we're on the fucking ground without taking damage.
Kragnar going for
You
it.
are.
Oh.
Kragnar's on the ground already.
Would Entangle, if I cast Entangle, would that, like, kind of help soften the blow?
No, you have Featherfall. You're good. I think I'm the only one that didn't get targeted.
I'm pretty sure.
So she's down?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you were the only person not targeted there, Dan. Kragnar, you leapt down and felt the soft,
Nice. Fun.
Nice plushy landing of Featherfall as you just before the ground.
Pretty good
impact
pretty good
slows
trick.
entirely.
Probably witchcraft.
It was exactly witchcraft.
Corvus still up there.
And Corvus would probably like just jump off with him, right?
You jump, I catch. I catch. You jump, I catch.
I didn't say I'm jumping.
Do it.
Come
Do
on.
it.
Seriously, do it, man.
Do a backflip.
Everybody
You know
at the
you want
everybody at the bottom is coaxing Corvus to jump off this 30-foot cliff.
All right. Instead of any of that, and I'm gonna do something cool though. Corvus is gonna
Nice.
cast his Thorn Whip spell and whip it around, in a flourish, and then he whips it against this tree here, and then pulls as hard as he can, and it seems sturdy. And the Thorn Whip is strong and magical and digs into it well, and he uses it to rappel down within, a minute or so before the spell ends.
Corvus, show off.
Pretty easy. The spit kind of, stretches as he needs it, and then just as once he gets down, he kind of flicks his wrist, and the thorns disappear, and the whip disappears.
Fancy druid. Corvus, fancy.
But he had to do it quickly because that spell doesn't really last very long.
Artemine gives you a nod and looks to the rest of you. Shall we?
I'm interested to meet this shaman character. He seems to have a great deal of power over nature in this place. It might be more accurate to call Valaki's wilderness his territory than the people's.
Is there a way? Is there a way to address a druid, another fellow druid? This is what she's thinking in her mind.
Well, as you approach,
I mean, yeah, if you were inducted into a circle, you would know.
As
You'd know the druidic introductions and stuff.
As you approach, you see him sort of walk down what looks to be steps, but as you approach further, or closer, I should say, you notice that these aren't steps, but they're actually trees that move to follow his exact movement of his steps, taking special care not to make him fall or slip. And he walks with absolute trust in these living trees that seem to coalesce to his every move. And
That's pretty cool.
It is. He kind of strides down, finally making it down to what looks to be a small netted bridge. And you can see that a couple of fish have hopped into this small trap, and he quickly retrieves them from the center, taking care not to collapse the net, walking on the stumps on the side of the small netted bridge. And then he kind of takes notice to all of you, finally. He seems to be pretty absorbed in the environment. He's very observant of all the things that are around him, except you. When he sees you, he looks at you as though you're something he's never seen here before. It has been quite some time since I've had visitors. Are you from Valaki? He says this with a raised eyebrow. His beard is just furiously overgrown, eyebrows as well. The stubble that's on his cheeks, that I'm sure at one point, was stubble, is several, inches long, and it's fighting with the lower parts of his very long, rather beautiful eyelashes.
Greetings.
He's looking good. Corvus was going to approach and bow respectfully in the way that druids do, and give him the traditional druidic greeting in druidic. And see how he responds.
He sort of nods to you, confused, smiles, and he doesn't appear to understand whatever ritual you're performing.
Okay, so he doesn't speak Druidic. Gotcha.
Greetings. We're not from, or most of us aren't from Vallaki. Only one is. But I'm Imelda. I'm from I'm from the woods to the west, or should I say the east? I'm not quite sure right now. But she looks at her group. What are we doing again?
Person of the wood? He looks at you curiously. Certainly not from Vallaki, with manners and kindness that you've displayed so far. He seems perfectly pleasant. You're suddenly slightly confused at the gravedigger's fear of him. Although Artemine, having seen the visual of this exact man's, right now, we'll say chestnut-colored brown eyes, in a much more dark, angry-looking state. He had found Milisov killing creatures in his domain.
Corvus motions to the gravekeeper and says, "Yes, we uncovered this one in a plot in Vallaki with an intention to kill you." And then Corvus reaches into his little belt pouch and produces the vial of poison. We're not sure why they wanted to kill you, but
Artemine pipes up in addition to this, saying, "I know that you have a particular relationship with this fellow, if you could even call him as such."
Seeming to have noticed Milisov for the first time and taking interest in what Artemine says, turning his direction towards Artemine after looking Milisov over in his current condition. He says to Artemine, "Yes, I do. How do you know of this? What has he told you of me? I'm sure that I am a vile and evil creature who would turn you into a toad," he says with a smile on his face. Still, you're getting even a 1 on an insight check, I think, would give you kind of a warm presence about this guy. He does not seem threatening in any way.
to be honest, he didn't go into particulars, but he did seem terrified of what you could do to him.
As he should.
I only know that of what I saw in his mind when he spoke of you. I enchanted myself and was able to peer into his thoughts, you see. I saw his memories. I know that you would want to know what his intentions were.
He sort of chuckles at this. Milisov should count himself lucky if I am of his darkest memories. What is it you think I'm capable of, traveler?
Merely that you are what he truly fears. I know that druids, capable as they are merely protectors of their land. And that if he fears you, then that would make him a monster to the land indeed.
Corvus is going to whisper to Artemine and try to not be overheard by the shaman and say, "I don't think this one's a druid. This one must draw his power from the ethereal plane." Like, the spirit shaman. But
We
he just
can-
whispers it real quick so you don't.
We can adjust druid to protector of land and nature.
Milisov owes me a debt, that he's been paying since he was a young boy. Well, not me per se, but the forest. He took from it, so he must give back. And he has been giving in what ways he can since that time. Haven't you, Milisov? See, Milisov is now awake and visibly terrified at where he currently sits. He seems catatonic. He does not respond. That's quite all right, Milisov. I think you've said and done enough for one day. So, poison me. Sure, you plan to put it in my sweet wine. He brings it to me from town. That and other things. For the first time, you sense an ominous tone and feeling from this stranger in the woods, known as the shaman.
Mm.
All right. Well, we were looking for a cave. He hid something in there, and we were wanting to go investigate a little bit further. I think it's just beyond like your hut. Do you know of one that has ooze coming out of it?
He's leading you into a trap.
Well, that's where the thing that he hid is.
Yes, I'm sure it is. Whatever it is, I will need to retrieve it for you. He says this in a grisly tone, looking at Milisov further disappointed, like sort of like a teacher that has seen a student just misbehave again and again and again and is just giving up hope.
Well,
Are you sure? Like we could help you.
You seem to be capable enough. While I wish you no offenses, of course, we have just met. I don't think it's wise for you to come with me. You see, inside that cave that Milisov would have led you into lives a creature. It is cantankerous towards the living, to say the very least. I have gained its favor.
So you're saying you've gained its favor. All right. Well, like, what if we watched, like from a safe distance?
If you must.
if we are to ask such a favor out of you, that seems to be quite a great one. Might we at least ask your name? My name is Starok myself, and we haven't yet heard of yours.
Evictus.
Evictus. Evictus, sir. The item we're trying to find at the moment are the bones of Saint Angels, and we seek to restore them to Valaki. And we might need more favor from you afterwards to maybe restore some of their failing powers, if you're willing to help us.
It seems I am in your debt. You have brought a traitor before me. My very feet saved my life. I will do this for you.
Very much appreciated. And you can trust that we are trying to help restore some of the balance here. maybe help nature a little bit. At least I know some of the group are very interested in doing so.
You seem to be of a kind demeanor, and I thank you for your gesture. But you should know, these lands are forsaken. What little I do to help the living things that grow here thrive and continue to live on is all I can do. I have accepted that. If you'd like to live a happy life here, or be at peace with yourself, I suggest you do too.
Well, we're more interested in getting out of the land, to be quite honest. But
At this, he sort of just laughs like that's a ridiculous suggestion, and you can clearly kind of see where his belief lie on that subject.
so you didn't seem to answer earlier to the words my friend said, which I didn't understand either. But do pray tell, what faith do you seem to follow? It seems to be one of nature, but just to know, out of curiosity.
I lost any faith I had long ago. He says this with a sort of befuddled look at your question.
Seems to be the general consensus of the place. All right. Well, might as well get to those bones and bring a little bit more life to this land if we can.
Right. Well, we'll follow you. From like a safe distance, and if something bad happens, we'll come to your aid.
Rest assured, no harm will befall me. Like I said, I have gained a creature's favor. Just mind you, don't come too deep into the cave. If it sees you, I can't guarantee your safety.
Well, all right. And she follows him. And I also sent you a private message.
Gotcha. He begins to walk around the side of the tree hut along the bank of the gorge or into the woods. Let me check some DMs real quick here.
It's like John Boy, gotta catch up.
Oh, yep. Sorry. Where'd you guys go? Okay, gotcha. Well,
Right on, Imelda looked like they're like doing a waltz or something.
Oop, far.
I'm so glad that they added group movement.
Yeah, it's nice. That's a new thing? I just
They did
tried to drag 2 figurines just for because
Yeah, it's only been around for like maybe 5 months or so. And I ran my campaign before it was a thing, and it was a war campaign. It was painful.
Yeah.
Where he takes you deeper and deeper into the woods. You pass by several just gigantic overgrown mushrooms. I mean, these are 7, 8 times the size of you. Seems like one could even carve out a small home and live in one if need be. And if he catches you, any of you looking at these, he says something along the lines of, "Never seen them that big before, have you?"
No, they're impressive.
Sweet Imelda.
Only in a place called the Underdark.
Seems to
I
say this in a
suspect-
boastful tone, as though he's had some sort of impact on them.
Yeah.
Would I know if this is like a natural part of the land, like that he's trying to recreate?
It looks like life is coming back to this land. Like you can see that his efforts aren't 100% in vain, even though he seems a little bit, maybe jaded or discouraged out in this place all alone by himself, tending to the few plants that you
Corvus
see thriving.
is thinking that he may have cultivated some Underdark flora here to acclimate to the low light environment.
Also, when they're just walking, Imelda's gonna cast Druidcraft or like, around any flower that she sees to make it burst, except for the carnivorous ones. That might be lurking around.
Ragnar confused about one thing. How he catch fish in net above water?
Easy. You scatter these. He pulls from his pocket what looks to be, and you suddenly kind of understand why he's got this slightly off smell to him if you've been, within 5 or 10 feet of him. He pulls out what looks to be either like sardines, but they're even smaller than that. They're minnows. They're all dead. Explains that he scatters these on the net itself. He also displays for you his technique as he mashes his 2 palms together until the minnows in his hand are like a nice pasty, almost peanut buttery looking substance. Just smear this on the net. Fish can't resist the happen. They're thinking it's food, jumping in there to try and get some, and find themselves stuck.
Must be some chunky peanut butter.
Definitely not the kind you would like on a sandwich.
Still confused, but okay.
Tarok is weirdly looks like that looks pretty good actually. Being a bird and a bird that eats that stuff most time naturally.
You wouldn't turn your beak up at it.
I would not.
Well, he heads to what looks to be the mouth of a cave at the end of this gorge. The land begins to rise, and suddenly you're no longer wading through a foot or so of water, now on dry land again. And as he reaches the mouth of the cave, he turns and says, "As far as you travel into this cave from here, you travel at your own risk. I warned you. What lies ahead is a gelatinous ooze. It has called this place its home for longer than I have been here. I do not know how old it is, but it has survived entirely on the bones that I have made Milisov feed to it for the course of many years. You see,
Oh no.
oozes themselves, they have a thirst and hunger for flesh. Creatures such as us. And even your friend here, He points to Tarak. This one. He points to Kragnar. Although, it looks like he might be less tender than the rest of you. I will say, I have a love and care for all living things. The ooze is a living thing. It is innocent in its own nature. It does not seek to hurt you, but if you scare it in its home, it will likely attack you. I wish all of you to wait here, but if you would like to observe out of curiosity, I cannot stop you.
Would
This-
you permit my friends to accompany you?
As I said, at your own risk. At this, he turns, his cloak trailing behind him, and begins to head inside of the cave.
Oh, also, it's going to be in the chest. What we're looking for.
Yes. Lysov likes to have hiding spots. An observation I made of him. He has several chests planted throughout the woods where he hides his precious items and things. I have come across them as I tend to things in the forest. He just
Okay,
sort of
so-
shakes his head at Milisov again. Devious little Milisov.
I'll present it to the group. Do we want to go, or do we want to just have my bird eyes confirm that he's doing the thing?
As much as I'm interested in that fish base over there, I'm quite happy to keep my bones and my flesh.
Hold on.
Oh, he would have totally offered you some fish base if he saw you were interested in, by the way.
That's fine. It's all right.
I'm gonna. This is a flaw of hers. I'm gonna trail way behind him, so that if I see anything, it's from a corner, far away.
Did you say you had
trying
a?
to be quiet?
Did you say you had a?
rather interested in
Seems-
how he's going to retrieve something from the ooze. So
This seems like it
Something
warrants a stealth roll. Are you trying to make sure that he does not see you, or are you just trying to be quiet? Trying to
I'm
be
trying
like
to
reverent.
quiet. And also, I don't want not him to see me.
Okay.
I don't want the ooze to see me. Is the main thing.
All right, I'll say that still warrants a stealth roll. Go ahead and roll
Oh
stealth.
no! It's a 10.
Oh no.
All right.
Do I have inspiration? No.
Anybody have any kind of way to aid her as you see
Yeah.
her, as you see Imelda ever curious?
You know what?
And
You know what?
Corvus will cast guidance on her.
And Tarak's gonna go like, you know what? You look extra limber today, and give her inspiration, and give her bardic inspiration.
That'll do.
I'm gonna give her a.
That's a nice combo right there, baby.
Do I roll anything?
So
You
you're
had
good.
1d4 from guidance and
And 1d6 from me.
nice.
Just your friends are rolling to help. Lovely.
Okay.
And you could add those to your rolls.
Gosh. 1d6.
Yeah, 1d6.
Why am I rolling so low?
1 to 2.
Oh no.
Just a whole bunch of love. All right.
Cuddle up.
You sort of sneak up behind the shaman, and as
Oh no, I don't want to be behind him. I want to be really behind him. I don't want to be within touching distance.
Yeah, we're peeking around the corner, I guess.
yeah, no, I get
Of
what you're
whatever
saying.
corridor he's going down.
And apologies if it sounded like you
I'm
were
with
awfully
her.
close to him, but you're far enough behind him to where you've got a good distance. But when you make it to around the corner. As you sort of lean out. When you lean out, you lean on the wall, as people sort of do, pressing close to the wall, and just slowly peeking your face around the corner. And as you lean some of your weight on the wall, a piece of it just crumbles in your hand and clatters to the ground on the left of you. And immediately, the room fills with this sort of light green, effervescent glow. And you hear a sound that you've never heard in nature before. And it sounds like, I can't even describe this really. It just sounds like a very unnatural cry of pain and surprise. And immediately you hear the shaman sort of call out, "It's okay! It's okay! Okay. These caves are old. My footsteps must have caused a rumble," he says with a slight gravel in his voice as he peers over his shoulder.
Also, Imelda's just gonna whisper the most she stops herself from saying it loudly just enough, but she's like, "I'm sorry" to the wall.
The completely inaudible sorry just barely escapes Imelda's mouth, clasps at her mouth. Keep yourself quiet a moment, remembering what lurks around the corner. But the shaman looks up at the massive ooze that has taken what looks to be sort of like a shifting form. Unlike a gelatinous cube that takes up 10 by 10 foot of space, this thing sort of shifts and has an aberrant form that turns into something different every sort of second. Imagine like a lava lamp, so to speak, moving in free form but all connected as one. Quite terrifying. And it sort of bends and folds in the direction of the shaman and begins to stretch, almost like an appendage reaching out for the shaman. And you see the shaman reach out with his own hand, palm turned upwards towards the ceiling of the cave you're in. Gelatinous ooze touches his hand. And you can hear like a suctioning sound. It sounds something like akin to a dog licking its owner's hand. It's all right. It's quite all right. He turns and he pulls something from inside of his cloak. And it looks to be some sort of like what looks to be like a spine or a rib cage of a small woodland creature, probably like a rabbit, or maybe like a squirrel even. And he just sort of presses it into the side of this thing. It just absorbs into the creature, almost like dropping it into jello that hasn't formed all the way yet. It sinks about 6 inches into the creature. You could still see it slightly, and just sort of sits there with a I need to get past you, old friend. There's a chest back there that the little one who's feeding you all these years is hiding something in. I need what's inside of it. And the ooze sort of just recedes. It begins to slump down and down and down no longer the 12 or 15 feet of height that the cave is in full, but now just a puddle on the ground that slinks back into the corner. You could still see that rib cage slightly sticking out, covered in that green ooze. That's about the only rise besides the puddle. He sort of just walks by, casually, taking care not to step on any of the ooze. And as he does so, he keeps his hand outstretched behind him, subtly, sort of gesturing not to come in any closer. He heads to the end of the hallway and he comes out of sight for Imelda.
Okay.
Imelda doesn't go any closer.
So I have her in the right spot again.
Yep.
Okay.
He returns not 2 moments later with a box in his hands. And it's not a very large box. It's only probably about 15 inches by 20 inches by 10 inches. So rather small. But he does seem to be carrying it laboriously, like it could be heavy. And as he rounds the corner, coming back to Imelda.
Imelda just smiles sheepishly, like being caught with like her hand in the cookie jar.
I do not blame you. I was curious enough at one time to come in here and risk my own skin. He, or it rather, does not like humans. I do not know why he likes me, but like I said, I gained his favor at some point living here.
Do you know
Perhaps
if you like elves? She whispers to him.
only one way to find out, I suppose. But
Uh-oh.
we became friends after I fed it. If you must, if it's worth risking your life over. He smiles
Does
at
he
your
like
curiosity.
bone?
And oh yeah, and he'll answer that with just a rigorous nod.
Derek, do we still have the bones that were in that sack?
Yes?
He sort of lifts the lid of the cedar box that he's holding to and says, well, there's these bones as well.
No. We need those. We need those.
But the ones in the sack I don't think are, like, holy, are they?
Oh, I don't think so. But I could tell you.
Girl, we don't have time to make pets out of oozes right now. We kind of have some city to help.
Maybe when we come back, she whispers.
Yeah, sure. I'll even get bones with you if you need to. But I'm not getting
sound
it.
like a good
Or, like,
task.
eyes go, like, in, like, full anime motion at the cuteness of this dangerous
Corvus,
creature.
You can see that
Corvus
there's
raises his chin and says, "This would be an excellent task for new initiates to the Druid Grove to accomplish."
You can see that there's relative interest in the shaman's eyes too, in Evictus's eyes, looking at Imelda's curiosity towards this creature, and he's taken sort of a shine to the group as a whole, just out of the general kind nature that has been displayed by most of the characters so far.
And then when they leave the cave, her, like, shoulders are all slumped, like she's really disappointed. Like like they didn't accomplish the goal.
Victus sort of reassures you as well as you leave the cave, sort of noticing the visible disappointment that the creature has lived there longer than he has, as he said before, and he doesn't foresee him leaving. At least not while I continue to feed him.
Right.
Corvus definitely makes a mental note of the existence of this creature.
I apologize if this is offensive, but how old are you?
Not at all. You know, I apologize, but I've quite forgotten my age. I have been here for, I believe, 200 years now. And I want to
200
say,
years?
when I came here, I was still but a young man.
Wait, are you from around here? Like from this area?
Oh no. I'm from a great city beyond the mists. As are most who are in Barovia. A place called Astrazalian.
I don't think I've ever heard of that place, but I mean, I've only been ever here. So, like, she gestures to the whole nature aspect of the forest.
What's the spelling on that?
I'd say at the mention of him having been here for 200 years, Artemine's ears perk up and he adopts like the same demeanor as he did when he was speaking with the Lady Wachter and asks if he had ever heard of a time when a powerful elven mage deemed it fit to travel here.
He looks at you and considers this question and wanting to be helpful, but kind of shuffles and looks at his feet. I have not left the forest for many years. But I did hear of a great wizard who challenged Strahd. A mage? Perhaps the same story?
Yes, a mage powerful enough, one would assume, to escape this place, but apparently not.
Artemine darts you the dirtiest look.
And Corvus kind of just ignores your expression of contempt.
Is there a way that you could I don't know, make them blessed? She asks the guy.
Of course.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Well, he responds with of course.
Oh, okay.
And he'd be glad to. And as far as the bones that you were talking about too, you know, he kind of pushes towards that curiosity a little bit himself, just explaining that he'd be able to tell you as well if these bones were blessed. So he sort of can be almost like a truth detector in terms of which bones are the correct ones, at least which ones have been blessed. And that might lead you to, hey, these are definitely the right bones after all of these bones have been presented to you guys. And
All right.
Who's 99% sure that the bones are the bones in the box are the right bones?
Me, Kragnar.
Well, judging by
Solid.
the fact that these people seemed to bury these holy bones in some grave and didn't even like build an ossuary or like inter them into a sarcophagus or anything significant like that, sure, they're the bones.
Yeah, these bones are also they stand out a little bit. They look like they've been cleaned by a paleontologist, or that they've been at least well preserved.
They've been well
Okay.
taken care of.
Good enough for me.
So,
Yeah.
Victor, sir, could you please tell us if you need, how much time would you need to restore the wholeness of the bones, and if there's anything we can do to help?
Well, time's not the issue so much as location. Oh, I find this is a sacred enough place. The spell requires a church. And, though it may sound cheeky, a priest.
Alright, so we need to get you into the city? She asked.
Lucky
Would you
seems
be
the
willing
most
to
logical.
sanctify Velaki? Sorry.
Oh no, I think we're on the same page. And as you ask him that, he responds, Velaki seems the most logical.
Alright. Have you ever been there?
Yes. I once lived in Velaki. When the
Okay.
old Baron ruled.
Oh.
I did not have a welcome exit, if you could call it that.
Well, perhaps could we like disguise you or like make you not seeable?
As long as you keep me out of their sight of the Baron, we should be okay. I
Right?
doubt any of the guards are old enough to remember me.
That's probably true.
Yeah, we should discreetly perform the ritual within the confines of the church Undercroft, where we won't be overseen using any magic.
The church is
And as
not
long as
far
the
from the
priest-
south gate, if I remember correctly.
As long as the
From
priest wishes to see his grounds re-sanctified, we should be safe.
And as far as
Maybe we
getting
should leave out that his lands are being re-sanctified by the spirit of nature rather than the Lord of Light, but whatever. We'll just leave that out.
Yeah, and let's not forget we've got ourself a little inside influence with the guard, as a young man named Roz seemed to be very friendly relationship with our friend Imelda here. So maybe we can use that.
Well, I know that
Sure,
he was
that should
wanting
probably
to
do
leave
it.
later, so
If not, he could just put his hood up and we'll just say he's a poor vagabond we found wandering the swamps alone and we decided to help him. Poor guy.
Yeah, that's definitely not a fishy story, but we can just figure out as we go along. That seems to be the gist of it.
Hey, just because the guards wouldn't help a common vagabond doesn't mean we don't have to.
True enough. All right. Operation Sneak. Old shaman in the town to re-holy the bones is underway.
Phase 2 complete.
As you head back there, he does explain to you that preparing the spell and casting it will take about 8 hours once he has everything he needs from the priest.
We can do our meeting, or with Izek at that moment, I guess.
I mean that's when we could, maybe take a long rest too, we could watch him and make sure nothing disturbs.
Well, they could start the ritual for the sanctification,
I mean,
re-sanctification of Velaki, and then we could go to the Baron's dinner.
Let
Even
me
if they travel late.
restate that. Let me put the casting time at the true time that Hollow says is 24 hours. Because I was trying to do something kind, and I forgot I shouldn't be kind.
Kindness, overrated.
No
yeah.
kindness, exactly. It's overrated. Challenge is what we want. At
Mhm.
so 24 hours is what we're gonna set the time to here.
Oh,
We're gonna have some fun with this.
Who the fuck?
And he kind of just explains like everything that he's going to need to do. He starts to tell you in detail that he'll need holy water, that he's going to need herbs, oils, incense, at least $1,000 worth of it, or 1,000 gold pieces worth of it. So he like kind of tells you like, hey, you're going to need to get me some shit too once we get into town, unless he looks at Imelda.
Imelda looks very worried. Like she has none of those things.
Why he look at her that way? What he? The Kragnar are very confused.
It's like
concerned.
I smelled various fragrances on her, and I thought she might have some of these things. No,
Oh,
no mind,
I
no
thought
I
you
mind.
were
have
trying
some
to.
herbs,
I
but I
thought she
don't
was.
know if I have that much. She like goes and looks at her own like backpack very
Trying to go
worriedly.
through my herbs and oil stash, bro. Get out of here.
No, I thought you were
Corvus is
Essential oils.
going to reassuringly put his hand on Imelda's shoulder and say, "Don't worry, I'll help you source them."
All right.
I'm
Kragnar
sure
thought he
of
trying
luck.
to buy a woman. Glad that's not the case.
I have a
Fail.
I have a suggestion. I think probably some or all of you are going to be against, but since this whole ritual is going to take a long time, and we don't have that time to gain favor with the burgomaster, I would suggest that maybe we tell Isaac that we would let him get the glory. That might
What?
get us the end. Yeah, I know.
No. He doesn't get any of the glory. He's a weird person. You said he was looking at me weirdly. Like, why should he
So
get any of the glory?
you're implying that we should go to the burgomaster and simply say that the stranger killed and found the bones.
We can
Is that
say
what
that
you're
is.
suggesting?
We can suggest that Isaac uncovered the whole plot because right now we're going to show up very late and empty-handed.
Oh, well, I mean, he can't begin the ritual immediately, so I just don't suppose we need to leave the bones. Although the thing is, if we bring the bones with us to the burgomaster, he's going to seize them,
Yeah.
and they will remain unsanctified.
So that's what I'm saying is we can tell him of our plan, and then that gives us time to do the ritual. Because right now, if
Or just tell him that we
Perhaps
forgot
you're right.
ourselves
Perhaps it's
in
better not to reveal any of this.
Because right now, if we go to Isaac and say, "Hey, we're late," and he's just going to say, "Okay, that's good. Just get out of town then." That
I don't
just might
think
be
we
what
give
happens.
him any credit. Don't give him any credit. We just tell him that this is what we're doing. This is the plan. We are already enacting it.
That
then
might
we
provoke
make
a reaction, though. The leader's not going to like it. We can just keep all of
Well,
this
you
from
know
him.
what? You know what? What if like I just, let it slip a little bit to like the guard, and just be like, "Oh, well, don't you you didn't hear it from me, wink."
So
But
yeah,
like what about that? Then it's spread by like the word, and then
so
the Baron can't deny it.
the problem is not the denying; is that the Baron's going to trust Isaac any second over us. We're basically strangers in
I
a
know,
strange
but
land.
I'm talking more about the people, though, like the guards. We could
the-
infiltrate it.
The guards are terrified.
So
of
what we
Isaac.
do, we bring him with us. We bring the grave robber, grave digger with us to meet the Baron. Right? You reveal the whole plot, but we don't bring the bones so that he can't seize them.
So the
Fair
other
enough.
problem is I'm gonna have that sounds like a decent plan. The other problem is how do you meet the Baron?
Like, would we be escorted, straight to the Baron's house from the
No,
gate?
we right now we're meeting Isaac to possibly be able to maybe have a meeting with the Baron if we please Isaac.
All right. I thought it was like we were
It
going to
seems
have
like
dinner.
just the implication that we've solved even a small measure of this town's problems may go a long way. But it doesn't have to go all of the way.
Izek, so don't forget, Izek can just make it so that he gets all the glory without us getting any of the positives.
So
can
we
just-
don't tell Izak anything. We only say this in the presence of the Baron.
Yes,
When
but then
Izak can't be the one to claim credit for it. It's not like we say it to Izak and then fucking Izak's like, oh, but hey, Baron, guess what I did?
what do we tell Izek when we go and meet him to possibly be able to gain an audience with the Baron?
I thought we already had the audience with the Baron.
No, we do not. We are going to meet Izak to possibly participate in a festival to impress Izak to possibly get us an audience with
We
the
were
Baron.
invited to dinner, though, weren't we?
With
we already
Izek,
didn't we?
with Izek, not the Baron.
That's true. Dinner with Izek at
Really?
Burgomaster's mansion. Yep. That's what
We-
my notes say.
So Izek was having a dinner at the Burgomaster's mansion without the
He-
Burgomaster.
he
Okay, I
lives-
misunderstood that.
He lives
Oh,
there.
yeah,
He's
exactly.
his right hand man.
Yeah, no, Simon's a guy. Burgermaster's having the dinner, right? But Izak is like, you want to come to the dinner? I'm your entry point. You know what I mean? So he's
Okay.
like, if you want to come, you're gonna come. And Simon's got it exactly right. You know, he's he's essentially the gatekeeper to the party.
So we need to please Izek before we do anything else. We do not get to talk to the Baron. We even try to get close to the Baron, and we're going to get some shackles on our hands really quickly. So we need to please Izek first, get him impressed. Which the way we were doing to do this is participating in the festival. Then we can talk to the Baron, and then we can get permission to stay in the city.
Hey, so that's perfect, right? The festival is coming up soon. We can have the Hallow spell being done while we're moving towards that, right?
So, but now we're late with Izek, and he's going to be pissed with us.
now we just bring the asshole who stole the bones.
Yes,
Ragnar
but then-
growls. Ragnar growls in frustration. He says, "You Shadowbox. You fight things not exist. Let go to town. Stop guessing what's going to happen. Raw.
I'm just saying, like
And
we're gonna.
also-
You
you know-
don't know."
I understand your
Also,
frustration,
you know-
but go ahead.
But also, like, Tarek was telling me that, Isaac was interested in me. She gives him a look. Perhaps he'd be just happy to,
Yes,
I didn't
that
want to put you on the spot like that.
that would be like putting you as the main piece of a feast to a hungry beast. Not something.
like,
we
what
want
if
to
I just, shifted into, a spider and, escaped, if something went
Yeah.
really down?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be able to. That's a good idea. So right now, what I'm saying is we're showing up empty-handed to an angry man who's supposed to be our entry point to the town. What do we do about this?
We bring the
Basically.
dude. We bring the dude and the vial of poison and all of
Okay.
the evidence that we've got, right?
Okay, then what if he says, because that's the type of people that we're dealing with, he's just going to say, you know what? I uncovered all of that, and you guys get out of town. I'm going to say I did all that.
Well,
It's not
there's
going to
only
happen.
One way to find out.
So
Yeah,
that's
also we've got two guys with enchantments as well. That
so
might
what I'm
help.
so what I'm
You're
saying.
debating a lot of what ifs.
So what
That's
I'm-
my point exactly.
So what I'm saying is where I was going with this is if we offer him to say, hey, we could do all the job and you can get the glory, maybe that helps us out and gives us a lot of access.
Also, are we debating this while walking back to town?
Yeah, we
I
are.
hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's,
alright.
you guys are moving
Yeah, I
towards
would.
town.
I was just wondering
All
if we were
this is-
standing there, for
all
an
this
hour.
is
just
all this is proactive conversation as you move towards town.
Okay.
You completely get credit.
So I'm just saying that's one option we have, or we just show him tempted and we try to calm him down somehow. That's another option. I'm just saying.
Or another option is if we're going to forego any influence gained on this, we could forget the whole thing, solve the town's problems without any input from its leadership, and forget about it.
I think
But
that's
then-
the best idea.
So the thing is, we don't get permission by the Baron, we get kicked out of town.
Who cares? Their
Permission
loss.
for what?
Because we are trying to get an invitation to stay into town, to remain in town. Right now, if we don't meet the Baron, we don't get his approval to stay in the city, we get kicked out, including Emina and Ismark.
Irina?
You telling
Or it
me
doesn't buy us a spot, huh?
you telling me that the Baron meets with every fucking stranger that comes through this city?
Not every. No, here's the thing. That's it. He doesn't. And that's what we need to figure out how to do.
Well, I thought we were having dinner with Baron.
Not with the Baron, with Izek.
Well, fine, whatever. Same difference.
Poor Turok. He's like, God damn it! I fucking explained this already.
So we're meeting
Isaac is gatekeeper, so we just gotta go to do dinner and see what happens.
I would just
Everyone
like to-
be cool.
I would like to say, as
Well,
the objective party, both Artemine and Turok make very good points. Artemine's point being, hey, he's not going to be able to gate scan every person that comes in. We might be able to go in, disguise, etc., etc. But at the same time, Turok saying, hey, not everybody gets this opportunity to go and perhaps meet with the Baron, if you guys please, Izek, right? So it may be dire to take it at the moment. And I think both points are absolutely valid and absolutely worth weighing heavily because, again, we seem to be at a bit of a crossroads. This decision will be important.
Yeah, I give dinner with Izek. I give them a 50-50 shot of deciding to kill us on the spot.
I mean, if we want to get,
He
why just
will
give
die.
Isaac some gold? Give him gold.
If nothing
You know, I
else,
would
if
just
nothing
say
else,
that
what
I'm
remember what
practicing my archery skills.
That's
yeah, she was putting on another display. Well, if nothing else, remember how you gained the favor of Izek and how you gained Izek's interest. It's entirely Imelda that Izek's interested in, and I think each of you is aware of that. Probably Imelda more so than anybody. I would say Tarok maybe second. He seemed to be hyper aware of that.
Go that route.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very-
Corvus likes to keep his power hidden.
and Derek is aware of that and is very scared of that, and that's why he doesn't want that to happen.
That's like condoning potential sexual assaults. That's just
If
not
we go to
cool.
dinner there.
Oh, I'm
turn
thinking-
on us,
I'm
I'm
thinking
gonna
he wants
turn
to
that
eat her,
mansion into
literally.
a bloody charnel house.
Imelda's smart elf. She can get out of tricky situation. Yeah, and if Isaac try anything,
Right.
Ragnar have magic axe to bury in his skull.
All right. So we
I
can
have to say I agree.
with what?
See, Ragnar always right.
Ragnar.
God
So
damn
I
it.
suppose
Are we using him
No.
as Imelda?
Use
So-
Imelda as
I
bait.
mean,
Use
we've
Imelda as bait. They do it in Final Fantasy VII.
What's another person,
So Imelda, do you feel okay with being the bait?
They provided she is okay with the decision.
Is consent involved? No, that's be out of character. Okay, in character. I mean, as long as I get to see that smirk come off his face when we go to the festival, sure, let's do it.
Hell yeah.
And
We're-
besides, let's just wait until we get to the actual gate,
I like this
I might be
idea.
able to
We can
try
stay and
my way.
watch at a distance and take over if things go nasty.
And
Yeah,
I'll whistle, that will be like the cue, like that will be the red, that will be the safe word.
Her safe
Or the
word is
safe
whistle.
sound.
Whistle.
If the
Trust
safe
and
word is
believe.
whistle, it's not a whistle, it's just whistle.
That is the new
Yeah.
title of
Whistle,
this episode,
whistle.
by the way. My safe
Whistle.
word is whistle. And
Wait,
yes.
you're saying the word whistle or you're whistling? Can you whistle? What does it sound like?
It literally
I
doesn't
will be
matter.
whistling.
One or the other.
I will be whistling.
We will show up and murder everyone in the room possible until they're all dead or we're dead. Like,
Yeah,
Wait,
the
so-
second option
No.
seems to be the bigger option.
If Ragnar hears any whistling, he kill everyone?
Can
That
I
plan?
can I ask
I
can
will-
I ask a question from my perspective just to make sure I understand kind of what your guys' plans are?
Yeah.
Is the plan sort of to get Imelda in a position where she's alone with Izek and she
No.
can. And
No.
okay,
No,
okay.
that's just like an
No.
entry point of being like, oh no, like we were late because I was practicing my shooting for the festival because I'm really determined.
The
Yeah, she'll just be the
singing,
party face.
the
She's the party
singing,
face.
the singing. Remember, you crushed with the singing, and he
I
only
know, but I
looked at
don't
you
know.
about the
But I
fucking
don't know.
shooting.
But we don't know if Erwin had the opportunity to go and see him about it.
So,
Do we?
so
I
the
don't know,
idea
but
is
I think the plan is to have her be the lead talker and communicator, not to leave her alone.
The
with
thing
it.
is he didn't see the singing. He was impressed with the shooting. You think
Yep.
that the singing might be the kind of like the cherry on the top of the cake, so to speak. So what I was thinking, and with this safe word being brought up, that's why I was thinking that you were trying to get him alone. Completely fine if that's not the intention. But what was the point of the safe word? I guess then is what I missed.
She
in
ends up in
case
trouble.
Yeah, what are we trying to bait him into? Exactly.
I guess the safe word for me was like if like she is alone with him and she feels unsafe.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's what
All
that
right.
was.
All
Yeah.
right.
Sure.
All right. I think that I understood a little bit what you were going
Something
for.
we'll
then.
try to avoid happening if at all costs, but if it does end up happening,
Yeah.
Well, I guess what I'm yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. I got my answer. I'm good.
All right. So now that we've talked about this, a good idea would be now he doesn't know about the singing. That might get us to mellow him out for being late. That is an option. Without telling him. So I'm getting that everybody's against telling him about the bones, and that's okay. And that was just a suggestion. Now using Imelda's singing, and I can definitely help with that. That's something that we can try out.
What if she sings while she's shooting?
Singing, shooting, awesome
Double
butterfly
talent.
following. That's just
Ragnar think trust Imelda's instinct. She's does
fucking
what
got this,
she
bro.
needs to get into his good graces, and we bail her out if she get in trouble.
All right, we can try to use the singing and the showmanship to mellow him out. We can try
The
that.
singing has got a better general appeal, but Izek might be more interested in the shooting.
So we'll see what Izek is more interested in, but so no talking about the bones. That's okay. I was just
that shit's got to stay on the hush. I mean, especially since the Baron is still against just magic, like in general. We're not going with holy version of Halloween here. That's got to stay on the DL as much as possible until we've already done it.
Yep, we'll keep that card in our back pocket. Resanctifying Velaki will make a decent trump card, especially with the public.
Yeah, straight up. The public is all we really care about. Yes, the Baron and Izek and all that. You know, we gotta dance around them a little bit until we don't have to dance around them anymore.
Yeah,
ultimately, we're in phase 1. Become the heroes.
Yeah, exactly. So right now we need to get into the good graces of the Baron, and we do that by being in the good graces of Izek.
But me not good dancer.
So everybody's on ball with what we need to do.
Sure. And also, Imelda's going to ask, if we were to have a group name, what would we name ourselves?
I was just thinking about this earlier, man, because I saved the picture that I
was
took as
thinking
Party
for
Strahd.
my next song, I could like reference it, you know?
yes.
All right, we
both
gotta
of those
spend-
things.
Don't we can't decide right now. We gotta everyone input ideas along the way until the next session for us to decide what our group name is.
I just want to say to the artist and to the vocalist, the artist out there, I definitely want to include your art somewhere on the stream. So either replacing our current little figures that we have up there right now, or just throwing it up in whatever format you're comfortable with. as long as that's okay with you, of course. And then to the vocalist, I would love to have some singing at some point. I'm sure that there's gonna be singing within the next episode or two here, but I would love to include that like into the intro because I think that would be pretty awesome.
Could it be like within like 3 syllables?
Oh
Or
yeah.
like 3 like okay, because like I feel like the tune that I want to make out of character, like a version of like the Wellerman's Tale. You know that song?
No, I'm not familiar with it.
Oh, that's a good song. That's awesome.
I probably know it
It's
by
so
the sound
good.
of
It's
it,
so
but
good.
not by
You
the
need to
title.
look it
'Cause
up. I wanted to do one specifically for this group.
That is awesome. It's
and
so
it's spelled
sweet.
well immense, right?
Wait, I'll like send it to you in like the group chat.
Cool.
So I guess we've got a homework. We got to figure out a group name.
Yeah.
And Melda and Rachel, that was an absolutely awesome way of introducing that concept. So that's
Yeah.
going to be really cool.
Thank you.
Yep, I'm excited for both the party picture as well as hearing that song and how how the name is come up with. I always love parties choosing a name. All of the groups that I've played with have chosen names too, which is funny, and it only makes sense for you guys now, who've become a staple for me after 10 sessions. Very, very glad to have played 10 sessions with all of you, by the way.
I'm very happy to have played sessions with you.
some not 10, but happy for all of the ones I've gotten to play.
I mean, shit. I think Rachel and I are what? We're on like 4 or 5 at this point. We're halfway.
Yeah, you guys are vets at this point. You've been added to the intro. You've been put onto the overlay. You're
Yeah.
I consider you permanent until you tell me that you're sick of me.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I love playing D&D. Yeah.
Well, I love having you. You guys, yeah, I'm absolutely. I'm excited to see what kind of a group name we come up with here. You guys do that however you see fit, I suppose. But
yeah, we'll get suggestions and see what everybody feels like, I guess.
it's one of those things I have absolutely no way in on. So you guys are on your own there.
Sounds good.
By the way, again, I sent you a message about DM about some chat with the shaman.
Oh, for sure, like some side chat. And any side chat that you guys want to do, like I mean, we're probably gonna pause the session here for when we resume for next week. So
Yeah.
I would say like this RP would be a great place for that kind of stuff too. Of course, I'll process this, and we can probably do this right now too. But anything that you guys like missed or think of throughout the week, like I wanted to do this, or wanted to think of talk to the shaman about this, or talk to party member such and such about this, or even maybe a rehashing of the plan, although I think the plan's pretty solid right now.
A sea shanty, I love it. Sea shanties are the best.
I
I've
also
written a couple
sent
sea
you
shanties.
the Wellerman's song in the game chat.
Awesome.
Yeah, I see it. That's
fucking
what I'm
love
saying.
that
Sea shanty. I've
It
written a
is
couple.
awesome. That is such an East Coasters freaking
It is.
anthem. It's crazy. It's like your national song, basically, at that point.
It's a great song. The first 2 lines, I'm like, yep.
Okay, I got you. I'll hook you up with some information about him in RP. Is it okay if I share with what you were talking to me about?
He's talking to me.
Yep. Sorry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm down.
So he's sort of chatting Evictus up on the way back, kind of like probing, like he said, what little information he can, even if hearsay, about his magical elven visitor. I read that verbatim because I love it. But yeah, I want to throw into RP chat just sort of some more background about him, where he's from, how he got there, why he seems to have lost his faith, maybe even, because it seemed like there was someone curious about his faith. And then I think there was another question that I think I might be missing that one of you asked of him that he gave sort of a vague answer to that was a good question. I think I could have gone somewhere with it as well.
Ragnar would ask about the cure, as usual.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
then,
he got that answer from Imelda a little bit.
Sorry,
A
what was
little
that?
Oh, well, like in the RP, like a week ago, I mentioned that I knew that the druids at the Yesterhill
Gotcha.
were like
Oh, I'm
maybe
looking forward to that quest line. I'm totally down for that. Whenever you want to do that, I'm going to support you.
Me too, by the way. I'm very excited for that because the Yesterhill that I have for you guys is pretty freaking awesome. But
that's going to go into our backstory real good.
Yeah, any of these things that you want to chat with, maybe that involve your backstory, please just put them in our RP chat. But I'm going to start with answering Artemin's sort of general inquiries here and sort of talk a little bit about who he is, what he is, and hopefully that will sort of probe some of you to dig a little bit deeper, or inspire you to ask some questions of your own. But no pressure,
Yeah,
of course.
Like he's a druid that never found a grove, but still became powerful and one with the spirit of nature,
Well, you'll have to see. You'll have to see what that whole nature connection is all about.
There are clerics of nature, by the way. That is a subclass that exists.
Yes.
Well, if Imelda doesn't know a real powerful druid, I'm going to go ahead and say that guy's probably the real arch druid of the land.
Well, maybe not. You'll have to see.
No, yeah, I'll have to see. Yep. Corvus don't know none of that.